Hey, you're welcome. Welcome from across the globe. Today is March 12th, 2026. The show is not on our original YouTube page today. We have to wait 24 hours. I guess YouTube had a glitch with our page yesterday, so we are on the clock. But you can still get the show on YouTube. If you go on Senator Dillon's YouTube page, you type in Senator Dillon, you go to YouTube, you will see the show. So we are on YouTube, but not just on our original page. We have a 24-hour wait time. I guess it's still going on, so we're not going to be on until that 24-hour elapses. So please, you can still watch this show on YouTube, but you have to go on Senator Dillon's page. It's important. So please, I don't want people in the thread all day today saying, "Oh, we can't find the show." You can still find the show on YouTube, but not on our regular YouTube page. Thank you so much, my brother Dwan. I appreciate it. So you can still find the show on YouTube, just on our regular YouTube page. Let's listen in with some of the stuff unfolding in the country.
You're putting on me? Why are you not putting on out of that moment?
Because we are close ones. Welcome to the Media Council of Fire.
Thank you so much.
We saw both prosecution and defense team leaving the court just a few seconds ago, and Councillor Arthur Johnson did meet the media and accused you in particular about telling the public that indeed his client did confess to the crime.
Well, if there is any difference, you always see it. But I think there is nothing different will be from what I told you before. What I told you before is the real statement. It's a statement of fact. Besides the crime, he himself stood where he stood just now and said but it was under the national security. He, Arthur Johnson, said that.
He described your statement as a blatant lie.
Well, everything a lie, then you'll review his statement. He made the first interview. The interview was made right in front of the court there. That yeah, the people took the money, they used the money, but they used it for national security. And it was never used for national security. We maintain that money was never used for national security. They took the money, they stole the money in LA. They stole the money in LA. So that's not a national security issue. We know national security. We've been working with the government for long. If the money is used for national security, there are rules governing the usage of money for national security. One person can't go anywhere and take the money and say you use it for national security.
We will dwell on this today. Obviously, Councilor Fire knows what he's talking about. It is absolutely true in Liberia. You cannot just blanketly claim national security. There are procedures that must be followed. You have to follow established procedures to use money for national security. So the proclamation by the defense counsel and his bunch of criminals in the person of Samuel Twe and the rest of them claiming that the use of a national security cannot suffice because there are procedures that you must follow even if you're claiming you use it for national security. So Arthur Johnson is on something, and I'm not knocking Councilor Arthur Johnson's hustle. He's hustling the living hell out of the legs of two other men that got enough money. Arthur Johnson trying to eat his own bow way. Let's listen to the mayor. The lawyer then, the man get wow more. The man trying to lick some to overplus. But hey, some to them sort of money that Steve from Steve. Arthur Johnson, to your way, Baba. You eat your ma.
Good afternoon, Councilor Johnson. Welcome to the media.
Yeah, look, let me just make something very quick and clear. The last time the Solicitor General came here and told you people that the defendants in this case have confessed to the crime, that is a lie. It's not true. No one confessed to a crime. There is a difference between confession to criminality, and making a point. Confession to the crime means the man is admitting to the crimes in the indictment that he committed the offense. That is not the case. What happened in this case is that there is a statutory function, or there were statutory functions that were carried out by the former Minister of Finance. That is under Section
we would spend a lot of time on there. You know, sometimes the guys will claim statue. Having a statutory function does not negate you from following established procedures. The procedures still must be followed. You cannot go outside the confine of the statutory procedure and you do something and still claim that by statute. You carry that lingo somewhere else. I told Johnson, I believe this is the man that has all the degrees in the world. Good for you, but I don't think that will not hold with us. Look, I want to say something to. In fact, I'm going to allow my brother, that is Dana Gamanyu Kesali, to explain this properly. What happened in Lolofa County? The government has this under control. A bunch of press releases has gone forth. In fact, another one was issued again today. I will try to read that so you guys can understand what's happening in the country. It is not a call for division or a political thing. When it comes to attacking Liberia, all got to put our hands together to make sure Liberia is taken care of. There's a time for politics, and there is a time for us to come together. At the end of the day, we cannot, under any circumstance, go ahead and behave as though there is something different because we got different political views. Anybody who wants Liberia to fail because they believe that's politics, there's something wrong with you. You don't know your place as a citizen of our republic. Now listen to my brother Gamanyu. He put this very clearly. Go listen to Gamanyu for me, my brother.
Hey, my Liberian people, how you guys doing? Y'all please call all those empty-headed sedition, all those tiny sedition, all those brainless sedition, y'all calling closer. I got something to tell them. Y'all think the thing that happening in Lofa with Guinea crossing over to Liberia to claim land. Do you guys think it's funny? Do you guys think that whole stuff that they're doing in Lofa, you think it's political? Everything you always spread to politics. Fully one on Facebook saying, oh, Joe, we are time, they will not even happen. The reason why nobody had time for Liberia is because Liberia had an unserious government, which was the CC government. So nobody had time for the country. And apparently they were doing it, but nobody or what our market. This government doing extremely well and Liberia is developing gradually. Then somebody want to come, cross over. We all know water serves as a boundary. Then you crossing over to another side, saying that that's your land. Then you're on Facebook, getting happy, brainless people, chapel people who don't have sense, sedition.
Look, I will not waste my time on those young people who don't know their place. The issue of our national togetherness, our national sovereignty, all of us got to rally around our national sovereignty. We've spoken about this here many times, and I want our brothers who call themselves Wiashin to understand that Liberia got to be whole. And that dream that you got, that fantasy you got, you believe a man who is not fit to be a village dog catcher will ever again come back to the helm of power. You'll keep drinking that Kool-Aid. If that's what you're going to need to finish your haul, that won't buy you lie. Liberia has gotten so better, way up. President Walker has brought dignity to the helm of power and to the presidency that we can no longer diminish that seat and give it to some lucky grown-up boys. And once again, man, welcome to the show, you guys that are coming across the country. I want to keep reminding you, we are not on our original YouTube page. There's been a restriction for another 24 hours. You can still get the show on YouTube. You can go to Senator Dillon's page. The show will be there live. So if you want to watch the show on YouTube, type in Senator Dillon, go to YouTube. And Senator Ibrahim Darius Dillon's page is also on YouTube on our page. Our normal class reloaded page is being restricted for another 24 hours. So please, you can still catch the show on YouTube, but you have to go to Senator Dillon's YouTube page. Okay, thank you so much for joining us. I understand the current NEC chairman has resigned. The one time feeling that she resigned. You know, somebody blame for Liberia. But let she go. Y'all listen to her say she said she not resign.
Use this platform to say to you that as of the 15th of March 2026, I am stepping down as chairman of the National Elections Commission. I have conveyed this to the President's office and I await to hear from him. It's time to move on and to give any other person who may be appointed the opportunity to run the Elections Commission. So I'm going and I'm happy because we have done this. On behalf of the Board of Commissioners, the staff of the National Elections Commission, we say thank you and have a pleasant day.
David has resigned. This is a resignation letter. It's on the screen. Let me just, for those of you guys who are listening on radio, let me just read what she wrote. March 3rd, 2026. His Excellency Joseph Yuman Boakai, Senior President of the Republic of Liberia, Executive Mansion, Monrovia, Liberia. She writes, Your Excellency, I present my compliments and herein inform you of my decision to step aside from my role as the chairperson of the National Election Commission of Liberia, effective March 15, 2026. This decision was reached after consultation with my family on the need to afford myself the time needed to rest after more than 12 years of serving as a commissioner and then chairperson of the commission. Your Excellency, it has been an honor and privilege to serve in these roles, contributing to the democratic processes that are vital to the future of our nation. I remain deeply committed to the well-being of Liberia and will continue to work in its best interest. Please be assured of my full cooperation in ensuring a smooth and seamless transition when a successor is appointed. I will forever cherish the opportunity to have worked with the dedicated staff and colleagues of the National Elections Commission, the political parties, domestic and international partners, and other electoral stakeholders. I look forward to seeing the progress and growth of Liberia as we all work towards a brighter future. Kind regards, sincerely, Deviata Brown Lasana, Chairperson. This is a resignation letter that she sent over to the President. Madam Chairperson, we wish you well in whatever endeavor you choose to pursue. And thank you for your service to country. We have to say that. She decided, Carolyn, I don't know why she said March 15, but me, I get the messenger. I just bringing the news. She chose March 15, maybe for whatever reason, but we want to say, hey, Loretta. I ain't reading where you wrote, Mama. But the chairperson is already gone. And she said she's leaving by the 15th, and this is what it is. Look, a lot of great things happening across the country. We know the information minister spoke on some stuff about the country today. Let's listen to him another briefly. We are getting there very closely. The show normally, like again, if you want to come in from YouTube, you got to go to Senator Dillon's page. Our current YouTube page has a 24-hour additional restriction before we can go back on live. So you can still catch the show on YouTube, but you have to go to Senator Ibrahim Darius Dillon's page. Okay, it's important. Let's listen to the Honorable Minister from the Ministry of Information.
I don't understand the scope of that question, because that is not an issue that you can. I mean, what government does in terms of national security operations is not a public discourse, if I should say it that way. But we can only assure the country that our territorial sovereignty and integrity remain intact. At the same time, as a responsible member of the international system, as a country that provides leadership on the UN Security Council, even as a non-permanent member, we have very concrete, practical, and peaceful ways of resolving dispute. What we have here is simply a dispute. It's not an act of war. You know what war means. When somebody starts war, you know why it is. So the dispute we have can be resolved. And that's why the message they deliver reassure that we'll continue on the lines of diplomatic engagements to ensure that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Minister. Again, the Information Ministry published another thing today again. Additional one was probably published about 2 or 3 days ago, and I read it right on this platform. The Information Ministry has also published another press release concerning this matter. So a calm has been brought to the issue. Currently, the AFL is over at the border, and I want Liberians to rest assured that the AFL has taken over regarding what took place at the border. The Information Ministry also released another press release, and I'm on an obligation to once again read to you guys what was published by the Information Ministry. Ministry of Information press release updated from the government of Liberia, Capitol Hill, Monrovia, Thursday, March 12, 2026. The government of Liberia announces and reassures Liberians and residents within our borders that diplomatic efforts are continuing to amicably resolve tension on the Liberia-Guinea border. The engagement are both bilateral and multilateral and involve the Mano River Union and the Economic Community of West African States and are supporting a peaceful resolution. The government of Liberia notes that a high-level delegation will be dispatched to the Republic of Guinea within the next 24 hours to engage in dialogue with the Guinean authorities as a continuation of the recent Guinea-Liberia dialogue held at the border with a high-level inter-ministerial delegation. The National Security Council of Liberia, of the government of Liberia, under the leadership of His Excellency President Joseph Yoman Boakai Sr., has been meeting regularly, including on Wednesday, 11 March 2026, when the council briefed the leadership of both houses of the national legislature on the unfolding situation at the border. The government of Liberia also reiterates its call to citizens, particularly those residing in the border communities, to remain calm, peaceful, and law-abiding, as well as to cooperate with members of the Joint Security deployed in Foya, Lofa County, to maintain the peace and avoid the escalation of these situations. The government of Liberia is actively investigating a shooting incident at the border on Wednesday, March 11, 2026, that left a Liberian citizen injured. The injured citizen is in stable condition and responding to treatment. The circumstances surrounding the shooting are being investigated by members of the Joint Security on both sides. The government reaffirmed its commitment to resolving the current situation at the border through peaceful dialogue, diplomatic engagement, and peace building, and calls on the general public to be mindful of the spread of negative and false information that could inflame the situation and undermine peace and national security. So the government has done everything necessary to make sure this is amicably resolved. Always a big shout out to the government for taking this matter very seriously, as this is a serious matter, and our people in Foya, rest assured, this is under control. The government is doing everything they can to make sure everything is under control. Let's calm down and let's continue to believe what the government is doing. I'll play one more video here. Well, actually, not one more. I lied to you guys. I got a few more to play, and this is what is 15 seconds. Look, we cannot pour trash all around Monrovia, and we just blame the city mayor. If you guys been following Mayor Siafa for some time, Mayor Siafa constantly, in fact, if you did, he finds some people, constantly reminding people that you cannot dump here. Every time they remove stuff, it's like an uphill battle that is being fought. And you got citizens filming saying, oh, that's what Mr. Siafa did. Well, Mr. Siafa is not the one putting the trash there. Yes, I will agree there should be an organized plans on how to remove this trash across the city. But you two citizens, you have a responsibility. Let's watch this 15-second video.
TTV online backup. This is the mess the Mayor Siafa put on his, as you can see, the smoke over. The mess Siafa put on. TTV backup.
Our capital city cannot be like this. You know, when every country was first ready to develop, one of the crucial components of their development was the recognition that to get, and I'm putting this in quotation, that to get quality people and their money, let me repeat, to get quality people and their money to come to your environment, it has to be free of garbage compiling everywhere. This was true in Singapore. There was garbage dumped everywhere. And the government recognized to get people here that will feel safe in your environment, to make sure your environment is clean, and to bring their companies here, they have to be assured that this is a city or this is a country that has full control of what's happening in the country, especially when it comes to garbage collection. We have to send that message, and we are going to develop. We have to send that message. I know the city governments have tremendous, huge Herculean task to remove the trash from the city. Yes, they have to organize it much, much better, and they have to be very, very serious about how these trash are removed. But we cannot half-step this. I know citizens have their role to play. I will always put the biggest onus on the entity responsible for these removals. But by the same token, citizen, you got to play your part. Hey, my brother, God favor me, Cheeks, Mr. Cheeks, man, what's going on with you? And we have to make these notations, and citizens have to recognize that you got a role to play. Yes, the city mayor has a role to play, and I think they should organize the city better. Like I say, I've always mentioned there's a better way to remove the trash that is cheaper, that is more efficient, that will make sure there is no trash around the city, but people don't want to take it seriously. We spend a lot of time and money making sure we put that plan together. Nobody wants to listen, but we will do what we got to do. And let's watch this video. I know the government is building these presidential homes across the country. There is one here in Banga. I want to highlight this so we can have, when we get dignitaries or we get events in the counties that's play to stay. And I saw this video, I thought to share because it looks so beautiful. And I think President Bwaka is doing some good stuff to make sure the counties have a quality residence should dignitaries visit.
I brought amazing news to you guys. You see, I involved Kante, to be precise, Banga City, to the presidential palace. You see the whole place there? Any president that come in office, any president for that matter, whether President Bwaka or any president in the future to come, the day they come in Banga City, that girl will be lushing, that girl will be sleeping. So I want you guys to come with me to show you the progress, to show you how far the people are going here. They'll come. You see stuff, they're bailing all the contests in the country. So now, they'll come and show you. Let me show you the progress on this one. You see the gate, modern gate, 2026 gate. They want on any president inside the field protected. You come. Yeah, it is. There it is. Show them around. See how big is it? Any president, the day you can't invoke.
Yep, they're trying to build these across the counties so they can be a presidential resident. I would just hope they call it an executive residence, not necessarily presidential. So if we having an event, so I don't want to excuse to say, oh, we don't have hotel in Grand Cru. That why they know the president got to go see people in Grand Cru. Oh, we don't have anywhere in Foya. No, the president got to go see people in Foya. There should be a residential place. I remember on a previous administration, the president had to sleep in his car. President Weah had to sleep in his car because they didn't have nowhere to sleep. And I thought that was not even safe, first and foremost, as the president to be sleeping outside in his car. But we got a responsible president now at the helm, and he recognizes that Liberia needs this facility. Yes, they will be maintained, but they can be used for dignitaries that go to the counties. They can be manned by local government to make sure they keep them intact. This is something good for the country. Hopefully, we always talk about the issue of maintenance, and they take it very seriously to make sure these facilities are well taken care of. I saw a video today. Unfortunately, I did not upload that video about the Commerce Ministry doing some inspections across Monrovia, and they're arguing with people. The man put all the food in on the ground. I will get that video when I just thank God Mr. Nambu is here. I will bring them on when I get on. We'll look for the video. Oh, I tell them to move the food from on the ground. They won't move the food from on the ground, and we get as in my house. What kind of nonsense is that? Me, Inspector General of the Republic of Liberia, me and somebody going to argue about you putting Liberian food on ground. You have to be arguing with them. They're not your job to argue with them. You find them, you close the place down. This is not argument. You go do your job. They should know the government ordinance related to maintaining food stuff for Liberian citizens that they're supposed to be eating, how they're supposed to store the food, etc., etc., etc. They're not argumenting there. But once again, my friend, across the country, you're welcome. It is Liberia. And I always love, sometimes we begin with this, but I think it's appropriate because I believe we should all continue to pray for Liberia. And before we start the show, let's play 1 minute of this.
We ask all of you to continue to pray for this country as it had once been prophesied there are better days for this country. And those better days are days that we commit to the Lord. The testimony today is known to all of us. We want to thank God. We believe in the power of God. It is blessing upon this nation. It is what got us going. And so we assure all of you that this nation look up to you. Your prayers to us, it is because of what the Bible says, the effectual fervent prayer of the righteous have brought our country so far, and we'll take it further. We pray that God will continue to bless our country and make it a country after his heart. In Jesus' name.
In Jesus' mighty name, a solemn prayer. It's so powerful coming from the president himself. You pray for Mama Liberia. May God bless our beloved homeland. And let's bring Jehovah God back to our country in every way imaginable. We must bring God back to Liberia. Thank you, Mr. President, for that powerful prayer for our country. It has to be about Liberia for all of us. And God, all we tell you, God, we got to lay Lapa down for Liberia so our mind can walk on it once more again, because we were a glorious country. We were not just a petty country. We were a glorious country. In fact, you'll listen to PLO when he visited Liberia, reminding us the place we held in the Republic of Liberia.
The country of Liberia, the land of liberty. I remember as a young boy in Kenya that in those early days, if you wanted to lead Africa, you had to come to Liberia. If you asked the Nigerians, their own Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe was here. If you asked the Ghanaians, their own Diosajefo Kwame Nkrumah was here. If you asked the Guineans, their own Ahmed Seko Toure was here. If you asked the people of Guinea-Bissau, their own Amilcar Cabral Abel-Jassi was here. There is a sense in which Liberia was the fountain from which all leaders drank, and the mother's milk of African independence and revolution was consumed by those leaders in this very historic city of Monrovia. So we must never forget, this country, this Monrovia, became the political homage for those leaders. I've already said it and I repeat it again. The Diosajefo Kwame Nkrumah was here. I have said it and I repeat it again. Nnamdi Azikiwe was here. I say it and I repeat it. Haile Selassie was here. I say it and I repeat it. Ahmed Seko Toure was here. Modibo Keita was here. Siaka Stevens was here. They were all here. David Dako was here. They were here. Patrice Emery Lumumba was here, because this is where you drank the fountain of freedom. The reason why we have to remind ourselves of this history is because history teaches us that if you do not have a sense of history, you cannot have a sense of the future.
The fountain of freedom. To become somebody in Africa, you have to come see us. We were the beacon. You remind those Ghanaians who believe we got discovered yesterday. You don't know African history. We were it. Liberia was the place to be. And I believe we can once more attain that glory with proper leadership, as we've been experiencing under President Bouaka. We have to push the issue of Liberia forward with every single might of our being. This country must be seated once more at its proper place. You're welcome to the show, y'all.
Class Reloaded, the #1 online show that brings the truth. Showcasing JMB and JKK progress all across the country.
The Class Reloaded, we are online every day. Showcasing progress the Liberian way.
Well,
JMB and JKK, they're making the way. The Class Reloaded, we're shining today.
From Monrovia City to the other counties, development talk shake the country. We talk the truth, we don't lie. The rescue mission making people smile. Roads getting better, schools better, electricity stable, no more hoping. We see the change, we see the light. Unity Party doing things right. Who talk the facts?
The Class Reloaded.
Who bring the vibe?
The Class Reloaded.
Support development.
The Class Reloaded.
Who better arise again?
Oh yes we can.
Who talk the facts?
The Class Reloaded.
Who bring the vibe?
The Class Reloaded.
Support development.
The Class Reloaded.
Who better arise again?
Oh yes we can. The Class Reloaded, we are online every day.
Every day.
Showcasing progress the Liberian way.
Well, JMB and JKK, they're making the way. The Class Reloaded, we shining today. Turn up the sound, let the people dance. Liberia progress, we get the chance. No fake news, we bring the proof. The Class Reloaded, always in the booth. From social media to the street corner, everybody talking about the new order. Respect to the hosts, they keeping it real. Liberia future, that's the deal. The Class Reloaded,
Truth.
Liberia rising,
Progress.
JMB and JKK,
Develop.
the rescue mission, we move soon.
The Class Reloaded.
True.
Liberia rising.
Progress.
JMB and JKK.
Develop. The rescue mission, we move soon.
Welcome to the show from across the globe. All you guys that are watching, Mr. Awaji, if you want that video, I will send it to you. Somebody sent it to me, and I thought it was a powerful video. You know, when people sometimes try to forget the place of Liberia, who we are, we've always been. We've buried that so heavily. In fact, before I even recognized the radio station, that same person sent me this video. They called a portion of the video the reason why they came to Liberia. We were not just a country. We were the standard that people wanted to emulate. Yo, what's more? They're not me talking here. We have a glorious republic. And you don't know how much I appreciate the audience that comes here every single day. Let me tell you the reason why. Look, we know the problems of Liberia, but we know full well that we have to push through those problems to get to the promised land of true development in our society. So it doesn't mean we don't know to get garbage in Moria. We know that. We don't know that some of our young girls are becoming prostitutes. Some of our young boys are being zogorized. You see, we don't know this. We understand the massive unemployment in our country. We understand so many things in Liberia. Look, let me just play this short video. Our glorious republic will be reborn. I want Liberia to take a proper place, and I will fight tooth and nail just to make sure that happens. Watch your Liberia. At one point, that was the envy of the continent.
Capital city of Liberia, reflected in a graceful cultural heritage. But a city as modern as today, the country having developed a fine balance between traditional African values and the modern way of life. Buildings steeped in the tradition of Liberia's rich history. Buildings reflecting the country's promise of a rich future. Buildings that reflect the civic dignity of the city, its commerce and industry. For the well-being of its people, the J.F. Kennedy Memorial Hospital, one of the finest in West Africa. Overlooking the city is the renowned Ducor Intercontinental Hotel, with a welcome for the visitor.
I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the videos out there. We had a country that was headed in the right direction. We made a massive mistake in our society and brought civil war upon ourselves. No more. No more. Our children must inherit a better location. Big shout out to Classy FM. All the way out there in Kakata. Classy FM, you're hello. You're listening to me. I say you're hello. You're thank you for tuning in and listening to the evolution of Liberia. Our country is developing right before our own eyes. Don't let anybody lie to you. Look around you. Radio Margibi also in Kakata, Margibi County, Peace FM in Habel. Those of you guys that are listening in Habel, we say you're welcome from the Great Plantation. Hopefully someday Liberia can go far beyond our plantation. Radio Kwatike all the way in Banga Premier FM, also in Banga Bon County. Radio Gompa in Ganta City. Ablije Radio all the way in Grand Bassa County. Radio Yalimba in Sekliapi in Nima County. Welcome to the show, guys. Top FM at the Zweju Radio Sano in Greenville, Sano County. Thank you for relaying the show. The ever-present Radio Butor. You're doing great work. You're doing God's work in the southeastern portion of the country. You're continuing to extend your voices into the heart of Liberia so our people can get the truth, nothing but the truth, the whole truth, entire truth, all the truth. Trust FM out of Bombing County in Western Liberia, Punch FM in Monrovia, Radio Busho. We want to extend an invitation, as always, to any radio stations out there that are looking to join this effort to make sure we elevate the issue of Liberia, because this is our task. Kona, Kong, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. Prince, Mr. Yellowgun, how are you doing, man? Good evening, class. I'm watching and sharing from Stockholm, Sweden. We're in Stockholm. Welcome to the show. Mr. Yellowgun, how are you doing, sir? Lucky Ruth Stewart, Madam Stewart, how are you doing? Sylvester Garte is out of Margibi County. Armstrong Benda is out of Kakata City, Margibi County. Ila Hook, how are you doing? Per Freeman. Madam Freeman, thank you, Dwalu, for playing the video. Thank you so much. I love that you love it. Ruben, Calbe, Mr. Calbe, are you doing, Dwalu? Are we still having issues? Yes, you can still log into YouTube. Our actual Class Reloaded YouTube page, it's been, we still have the wait for 24 hours. But you can still log on to Senator Dillon's page. It's on YouTube as well. You can catch the show from that location. We are still restricted for another 24 hours. That's the news that I'm getting. I already checked, and it's restricting me for another 24 hours. But you can still log into the show on YouTube. Go to Senator Abraham Darius Dillon YouTube page. Just type in Senator Abraham Darius Dillon YouTube page. It should pop up. Aaron Siafa, how are you doing? Semba Sarabosa Egna now. Welcome to the show. What do we have here? Sunday Ma be there. Sunday Ma, how you doing, Mama? I want to has been you, Ma. Empire Stobor, welcome to the show. Labrador must rise again at all costs. I could not agree with you more. Roberto Richards, out of Louisville. We outside will call it Louisville, but you call it Louisville. I understand. Rose Horace, Manas Horace. TC Cooper, how are you doing, Mama? How's everything? Please send it to me. Yeah, TC, when I remember, text me. I will send the video to you. Edwin Khalid, welcome. Omaja Artigo, welcome to the show. Edwin Kyle, Khalid, I think I said your name already. Phoebe Warrington, Martha Doki, Madam Doki, how are you doing? Mother Doki said, Mr. Dwalu, this video is so touching. Thank you so much. It was a beautiful video, I believe. Elizabeth Pecketeer, welcome to the show, man. Tita Forberg. It's in Nante E. Forberg. Man, I got a hell of a German here. Joseph Lasana, Mr. Lasana, how are you doing? Look, from across the country, you're welcome to the show. Let's talk Liberia. I'm about to bring the guys on board. But you have no tradition dated that I say a piece before I bring the guys on board. Let me tell you guys something. Don't allow anybody to tell you that Liberia cannot rise to the occasion because we have small difficulties along the way. I understand since our civil war was concluded, there's been some issue to get back on the proper footing. We made a massive mistake 6 years ago, and we gave the entire country to lucky Grenadier boys that do not understand the issue of governance. Our country went back massively. This country has to go in front. We are aware that there is garbage in the streets of Monrovia. I, for one, want the process to be expedited to remove that garbage from our streets. We are fully aware that the issue of housing in the city is difficult. I understand that. We are fully aware that our road connections they are not up to par. We understand the educational level in the country in terms of the standard is a little bit subpar compared to pre-war years. We understand the University of Liberia is putting out graduates. They're not quite where we want them to be. We want them to be much better. We know the hospital issues in the country. All of those do exist. But nobody who's living in Liberia today can deny that progress is not being made judiciously, expeditiously in the right direction under the current administration. The problems are there. Look at the rural electrification program. In fact, today, LEC posted they've been stable for some time now. LEC is back on track. So electricity is getting a little bit more stable. This is progress. This is progress. I want you to think about your society that is progressing in the right direction. The difficulties are there, but we got to punch through them like every other society that have punched through them. Every other society that have punched through them, we have to find a way to punch through the very barriers, the concrete walls, the obstacles that are in the way of Liberia's development. We must punch through infant mortality rate in our country. We have to punch through maternal mortality rate in our country. We have to punch through the issue of not having marriages stay together in our society. Somebody tell me, say, oh, Dwalu, why are you fixated on marriages? I can hear you. If we don't keep the marriages together, our society is going to crumble. Let me talk again. If we don't have community that are made out of solid marriages like we saw pre-war year, this is not just restricted to Liberia. It is every society. We must keep marriages together so we can build a proper community, so we can build a responsible society, so we can build a vibrant country, so we can project our image internationally on a much better role. We have to decrease the amount of prostitutes in the country. We have to decrease the disorganization of our society. We have to address those aggressively, but we cannot feel sorry for ourselves in the process. That's one thing I want us to never do. Don't ever feel sorry for yourself, because I know we are more than capable of transforming Liberia in the direction that we so want. We have to protect the sanctity of marriage and family unit in our society, because when we do that, we will raise better children. We will raise better husbands. We will raise better wives. We will raise better legislators, raise better presidents. We will raise better ministers. We will raise a quality in Liberia that will be second to none globally. This is a dream of mine for my country, because if we do that, we will not put Flakaje people in the legislature, because the standard that we have set is so high that the expectation will be nothing but quality. Mr. Nambe, welcome to the show. Talk to us about the family unit in Liberia. Do we have work to do, or we got it all under control? Welcome,
of course, we have work to do. Dralu, how are you? I've been off for a couple of days, but I've been following, though not up on the show. I've been running after some other things, but it's always good to be back. Family is a very important unit for the development in a nation, because it's the nucleus of a nation, the family unit. And so if you ask whether we're okay or they're not doing well, of course, we're not okay. Because when we were growing up, some of the things that people are exposed to that is forcing the family now to face a lot of different problems were just not there. And the exposure to drugs, when we were growing up, we didn't have that level of exposure. You know, the highest you hear somebody say, oh, that boy can smoke opium, that boy can smoke marijuana. That was the highest. But all these kind of hardcore drugs now that's been introduced, and they are so cheaply available to people, you know, it's just something that has affected every single household in this country. And so families are drained, the way people, children just melt and spoil out in the street is something you can understand. When we were growing up, for example, even if you had a girlfriend, all that thing about all these small things, no, it was not possible, because everybody most or less, was staying in the home.
Yeah.
The most you can do is, you do your small touching here and there. That was it. But now, they got all these different things, and And people are more bored now. Every time me and my son be lecturing, I be telling, I say, you know what, life is easy for you now. And you think you got speed, and you think you okay, and all those kinds of things. No. So in our stages, in terms of trying to start a relationship, first you tell the girl you like her, right? And that will take you courage. So you got to decide whether you will tell her in the face or you write a letter, but the means of pouring out your emotions to her was something you have to think through. If you're brave enough to write, then you got to make sure all your subject and verb agreement are intact and all that kind of thing, because you're going to whole panel, right? You're going to face a whole panel, and they will judge you on different criteria, bro. So, are you a smart person in school? Do you dress well? Are you rude? And you go all through that process. At the same time, even if the girl like you, the most she will tell you is, a whole word, right? That a whole word period, that 2-3 months. Then you're still talking, and then you come to prove your love to get your first case. That's so important talk for your, So, but now everything can happen in one moment. Bam, bam. It's done.
Let me tell you the reason why I even talk about the topic. Somebody sent me a video today that I'm not going to play. And look, I understand times are changing, and it's not going to be like what it used to be way back. But there's the thing. This girl, she must have been like 50. She looks about 15-year-old. She got a baby. She don't know who the baby father is. And that baby will grow up, possibly, if not taken over by a family that can afford to do this, in horrible condition. Liberia will suffer for this. Across our country, if anybody tells you that their child, that my child ain't got nothing to do with you, don't let them lie to you. You don't live in a vacuum. We still have responsibility. The issue of dignity in our country must be brought back to the society. I get it. And the excuse that we quick to make, how the person will find food to eat. But that thing that now your money maker. Let me just put it that way. Not money maker. It's a dignity carrier. It's a value additioner, if you want to call it that. But sometimes we forget these little things. I want us to understand the issue of family and the importance of family. Let me tell you, to raise child is very, very difficult. Quick story. At 24 years old, I remember when I first met my wife, and I took my father and my uncle here in America to go to her parents. That's almost like maybe 25 years ago. Yeah, literally. So we went to her father. Her father literally took her hand and put it in my hand and said, my daughter, what I'm giving you, you must make sure you take care of her. I know it sounds like nothing now, but it's a big deal. And my wife still remind me, because I had to tell one code out with 15 cents. When she made me, I said, you know, I'm paying for 15 cents. But I'm saying that to say the traditions matter. Because when there was a problem, I still go to her father and say, oh, Mr. Jordan. And these traditions, we must bring them back to our society. We can't just do the family business chocolate, because the society, by extension, is going to suffer. Carl, welcome to the show. We just chatting on the family unit. Same question to you. Are we doing family right in Liberia, or do we still have a lot of work to do in terms of holding the family together and its importance to society? Carl.
So Liberia is not a monolith, and yes, many people are doing family correctly in Liberia, but things are falling apart. We have cultural degradation that is being fueled and encouraged by a lack of intentional and deliberate structure, the way that we used to socialize people. Now, I love nostalgia, and I love to go back in history and talk about all the good things about Liberia. One of the things that I personally believe are not good about Liberia, even when it comes to nostalgia, is the hypocrisy and the fakeness that many people have grown up with in the society, where the dad was a Rolling Stone, got children all over the place, and it was normalized. Men bringing outside children to the house, spreading diseases even among their wives and their girlfriends. We have a terrible history of vile sexual promiscuity that caused health problems and caused all kinds of issues in the society. And we all were taught as children that things were normal with our grandparents, with our parents, and this was always supposed to be. Men are supposed to sow their oats, even when they're old. They're supposed to be running around having unprotected sex and planting their literal, not even proverbial seeds all over the place. And that's disgusting. It's dangerous. It causes a lot of health and social problems. And it is not new. It wasn't because of the war. Men have always been, and women, but especially our men, have been encouraged and culturally encouraged to be promiscuous. And then they justify this by saying that it's polygamy. Oh, we Africans are supposed to be polygamous. Polygamy is a form of marriage. It's not being a male gigolo. Polygamy is a form of marriage. It's not promiscuity. So you can't justify promiscuity by saying you come from a polygamous culture, because even polygamy requires discipline and commitment. It is marriage. Even in a polygamous home, there are rules. You can't just go and abuse women and have children all over the place and even sleep with very young girls and exploit them. That is indiscipline. It's vile behavior. And one of the things I always say to people, including my one son, I only have one boy child, right? 3 girls and a boy. The thing is, and he's a very sensible, sound young man, so I don't have to really lecture him much. But the examples are set. You can't be running around, what is the word I'm looking for? You can't be running around sowing your royal oats indiscriminately with all of the diseases and the disgusting things that are out here for people to contract. That is the biggest issue. And Liberia has always had high rates of STD. When you go back and read historical books, syphilis.
Yeah.
Some of our big people that respect were suffering from this terrible diseases, syphilis and things carry people in our country. Prominent judges, prominent citizens, because of the lack of self-discipline and control. If you remove self-discipline and discernment from a human being, you have nothing left but an animal. And part of reaching your higher self as a human being is to master self-control.
Absolutely.
So all of this thing, we could be talking about the young girls, the young guys. Let's also look at, in fact, primarily look at the predatory nature in which we promote with the boys. Mr. Nangbe just said he told his son, y'all got it easy. Easy to do what, Mr. Nangbe? What are you teaching your sons? And this is not to pick on Sam, because there's the same talk. All my uncles and my brothers and my cousin and tell their boys' children. It's normal for us. That's how we discuss it. You understand? Maybe even my husband can say it, but he'll say it behind me. He will not say it in front of me, right? Maybe that's a discussion he can have with my son. I don't know. Call me naive, you know? So for all I know, but in my face, while around, the discussions of self.
Oh, we're not talking from you, Cole. I won't buy them.
But the point I'm making here is, you know, maybe look.
Jimmy there.
But so, let me tell y'all something for free that y'all don't know. Women have the same libido y'all have. The difference between us, we either have learned, because society has socialized us to be more responsible. And so when society doesn't socialize women to behave more responsibly and have more self-control, we will behave more than men.
Yeah. And some do.
You understand? Some of y'all passing around there, y'all raising different men's children. Right? But they say married man can't born bastard child. Any woman your wife born at your child. I mean, any child your wife born at your child.
Now, yesterday,
it goes both ways. I'm not only going to pick on men, but for the most part, women are socialized differently. Right? It's not acceptable for us to follow our raw nature. So we must control ourselves as the mothers of society. But also the fathers of society must also control themselves. You can't just act on every impulse and urge. You're not an animal. You're a human being. You're a higher being. Conduct yourself as such.
Thank you so much. For the sake of society, we must have discernment. Because we explain it. Promiscuity will kill you early. And by the way,
let it just say amen. Let it just say amen.
Amen. But we got to, for the sake of society, gentlemen, we have to make sure we stick on the journey about one woman. Mr. Lama, anything on your mind regarding anything before we start the show tonight? We have a lot to talk about. Lama, welcome to the show, sir. He's frozen. Lama, can you hear us?
Coffee freezing the mail.
What the mail is after all that here, actor.
Call just hypnotize Larama right now. The man in
Okay,
deep
then
thought.
let's go to our show. Let's go directly to the show. We had the NEC chairperson resigning today. I read her letter here. Let's listen to her briefly, and let's see if we can comment on it in a way, shape, or form before we go to the meat of the conversation.
Use this platform to say to you that as of the 15th of March 2026, I am stepping down as chairman of the National Elections Commission. I have conveyed this to the President's office and I await to hear from him. It's time to move on and to give any other person who may be appointed the opportunity to run the Elections Commission. So I'm going and I'm happy because we have done this. On behalf of the Board of Commissioners, the staff of the National Elections Commission, we say thank you and have a pleasant day.
Hey, Ruben, that's not true scientifically. Get other statistics somewhere. That's not true. And I want to say to the guys, those of you.
What did they say that's not true?
No, just read the thread. KB.
For people listening, we gotta tell them what you're talking about.
The men say Liberia, the honeyest people in Africa.
Jesus, I'm sorry I made you read that. Sorry.
But listen now.
Big mouth. Why are you talking to us?
That me talking that can't be. But listen now, if you want to go on YouTube, our YouTube page won't be on till tomorrow, 24-hour additional restriction. You can still get the show on YouTube, but you gotta go to Senator Dillon's YouTube page. Huh?
Do you know why it was restricted?
They didn't give me explanation. They told me to put in a whole new thing. Then I put it another 24 hours before it can click in. So I guess, I don't know, yesterday, whatever, it went down. So the chairperson has resigned. She's been at the place over there for over 12 years. Her resignation, any comments surrounding that resignation, Cole?
I wish her all the best in her future endeavors. I've got nothing else to say.
Thank you so much, Gina David. I would have loved to visit your house 23 years ago. But anyway, that's a whole nother ballgame. Mr. Namwe, how are you doing? Any comment on this issue?
I'm good. Well, 12 years is a hell of a long time to be in one role. And I think that's probably one of the most stressful jobs that anybody can have. It's difficult to satisfy everybody. And to take the truth, I know David very well. We used to work at UN OSHA together back in the day. And very nice woman. But that role is a very difficult role. And I can tell you, very difficult to satisfy everybody across the aisle. And what she went through in the last series of elections, will have so much toll on you, the pressure and everything. But I'm just happy for her that she survived all of this and has reached a point where she thinks it's time to go. And I'm sure probably the president might be gracious enough to let her go. But this position, I think they have tenure. It has tenure implications. So I don't know how much more time she had on her tenure. But yeah, you come.
They're meant to serve for 9 years, right, Mr. Nambe? I think the tenure is 9 years, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
know. I don't know. 9 years. I think she served as a commissioner before, serving as a chairperson.
So yeah. Let's have some new ideas and somebody else to take on. It's always good to leave the stage, appropriately, so that others can follow the script and move on. So, like Carl said, we wish her well, and see what happens with the next appointment to that role. But it's a tedious job.
Yeah, but Mr. Number, you mentioned it's a tedious job. I just want to ask you before I go to the next topic here tonight. We're going to talk, because I want to reserve the major topic later on, but I want the guys to trickle in here. You say it's a difficult job. What makes it difficult? I mean, the commissioner, most of the time, I know they work from behind the scene, but what made that role so difficult? You counting, I understand the political sways and that, but you should be apolitical in that role. It shouldn't be a place to
that is the difficulty, Dwalu. And so, if you are in our role, there's expectation that you will begin to serve those that appointed you. So they'll pile on undue pressure for you. They'll expect you to cheat on their behalf. They'll expect you to make decisions on their behalf, even if the decision is not going their way, and all those kinds of things. So there will be threats. There will be all kinds of things coming your way. If you made the right decisions, in terms of who is the victor, nobody wants to concede. They will always say something was wrong, and then they will begin to threaten you. They will use all kind of languages on you, and so that's what I'm saying. It's difficult. Yeah, now somebody's saying it's 7 years, you know. So, but this leads me into something that probably we need to look at: these tenure arrangements and the impact it has on a sitting or incoming government's agenda and how they need to carry it. Now, something probably we need to find time to talk about, because usually, if you look back, I don't quite agree with the introduction of that into our own government system. I strongly believe it was just meant to protect certain people, allow them to have a source of income. But the intent, I think, if it has to be done, then there has to be a whole different way on how people are appointed to those positions. Because some of these people that are in those roles, they don't have the skills and the competence, requisite skills and competence for those roles, and we just stuck with them. It affects the ability for incoming government to carry out their agenda based on the plan. So in my view, I think we should just scrap it up and let people deal with it within the context of the time period that's assigned to people. But I don't see it working. I think it has been exploited, not just now, but from the time it was started.
Coco,
Yeah.
you raised a very salient point. Let me ask Cole this question though, and the idea of tenure on paper seems like a very great idea. I believe in much more responsible or more developed countries, I won't say responsible, more developed countries, it seems to work better. For our context, it's been abused. We know where even sometimes when the president removes somebody, they got to pay the person hundreds of thousands of dollars sometimes to remove them. The issue of tenure, should we redefine how we guarantee people tenure for government position so that way, at least it's based on some form of measurement over time, not just sitting there and say, Dwalu is the minister of this and he has tenure for 7 years. Should we revisit that call?
So I don't think that we even handle tenure correctly. This thing went to the Supreme Court, and I personally disagree with it from a public policy perspective. Public policy, when you look at the Constitution, when presidents appoint people, it's at the will and pleasure of the president.
Mm-hmm.
If the legislature wants a position to be tenured, then they cannot weaken presidential power. That means that position cannot be a presidential appointment or should not be a presidential appointment.
Okay.
But you cannot, on one hand, say it's a presidential appointment and then weaken presidential power and say the president has no right to remove. That's the legislature overstepping its bounds. So that law should have been, if the Supreme Court had looked at it, in my view, correctly, what it should have said was, yes, you have the authority to make a position tenured, but you don't have the authority to tenure a position that the president appoints. So the law should either remove the criteria for it to be a presidential appointment, or it needs to not be tenured. It cannot be both at the same time. So I still struggle to understand how our Supreme Court reconciled those two issues and said that it's legal, it's constitutional. How? When the president should be able to remove people because he feels like it. Then you turn around and say it's a tenured position, but the president appoints. Now you're giving the legislature the power to control another branch of government. So it's not that the legislature doesn't have the power to make a position tenured, but they cannot make a presidential appointment tenured. That's the problem. That is the problem.
I get what you're saying, Cole, and it seems because it's like saying Cole can supervise me, but she cannot discipline me. I'm talking about administrative discipline.
It's worse than that. Okay. Because the Constitution explicitly gives the president the authority to appoint and remove people as he sees fit.
Correct.
That and the legislature cannot control that power. That's a separate power in the government.
Correct.
So if the legislature wants a position to be tenured, which they have the authority to do, they cannot do it to a presidential appointment. That means the position should no longer be a presidential appointment. So they need to change that law. Then there's some other commission or board should appoint the people. Then you can control their power to remove the person, but not the president's power to remove the person.
I agree.
So
Mr.
now
Number.
it's like a backdoor way for us. Let me just finish for those who are listening. Don't forget, it's like a backdoor way to for the legislature to control the executive, and it's wrong. And I was very disappointed when the Supreme Court upheld that because it is basic logic, and law is logic. Go ahead.
Yeah,
And Paul,
Mr. Number,
yeah.
Mr. Number, let me come to you, and you tied it in with your question
Okay.
that you are raising. A place like the National Elections Commission, should that be an appointed position by the president? I believe it shouldn't be. What do you think? And then tie into what you were going to say.
Well, yes and no. So going back to Cole's point, if this is an appointment that has to be done by the president, then it has to be. Otherwise, then we change it. And between you and I think it's one of those positions where you need to value it. People need to be able to make it a competitive position. So once you get an appointment, so people know, because it can be a partisan appointment. Okay, it can be. So there has to be a different way on how that appointment is made. So that's one. But the other thing I wanted to say is that if a presidential appointment enjoys or is governed by the will and the pleasure of the president, then certainly that will and pleasure cannot go into another person's decision in terms of will and pleasure.
Yeah.
What I like or what I don't like has to be about me at the time I am there. Or I can appoint or make a decision of what I like and expect that Cole has to be in agreement with my likeness or my dislikeness. So that is the confusion. It's not going to work. So if you make an appointment and give a tenure arrangement to somebody for almost the term, the entire term,
beyond the term,
an
actually,
incoming or beyond the term of an incoming person, then how do you expect that person's agenda for that particular role to work? It's just something I don't understand. So there has to be a way on how we address this tenure arrangement. The intent is good, but I think it has just been abused over time.
Mr. Number, let me stick with you since we just left. Here's the thing, because Mr. Number is the president of the Republic of Liberia. He has appointing power, he has an agenda, he has a vision for the country. Dwalu was tenured by the previous administration for a crucial role that Mr. Number, who is the president now, needs some results in. But you can't really touch me. And if I want to sabotage your operation, I can sabotage your operation, even though you are still going to hold the blame as Liberia not working because you are the president of the country. How does that play into the president delivering to the people of the Republic of Liberia?
Of course, it will undermine it. It will undermine it. So you don't believe in my agenda. You don't believe in the policies that I preach. And that is the reason why the president has the liberty given to him by the Constitution to appoint like-minded people to help him to deliver on his agenda. You don't see what I mean? That is the reason why. So if I don't believe in an agenda, and if my appointment is made to undermine your agenda in the first place, so say, look, for example, and I have no fights about this, but say, for example, I've done something. Me and my people have done something, and I'm supposed to. I expect that I will be judged. I will be called to book by so and so, right? Then I say, oh, you know what I'll do? We'll put people there, someone there, and this will be the marching orders to that person. That person is grateful they got a job for 7 years. Huh? And you put the person there and say, look, don't forget, this is the reason why I put you there. And someone begins to give you instruction on what to do and what not to do, which may run contrary to what the agenda of the sitting president is. So it's a dangerous thing that we find ourselves in, except in the event where that appointed person has enough sense to say, look, you know what? Regardless of who put me here, I must pay attention for to what I am required to do based on the fact that I am doing this for the republic as opposed to doing it to satisfy this or the appointing powers. So again, I must say it's not just this government.
Yes.
It's not just about what we are witnessing and experiencing today. But I totally don't understand how this thing was brought on. You know, it's a whole confusion. It's a whole confusion. You can't move them, and you say, "Oh, you know, the position will turn you," and the person is doing this. It doesn't work.
And the rules regulating tenure positions, it seems like it did not factor in the well-being of Liberia. Cole, this question is for you. And before we go to the next topic, tenure positions in Liberia, not just in Liberia, can we rely on people in a third world country to do the right thing without some restriction that would guard them with a consequence? Because it seems like people that are in tenure position that we've seen over the last maybe 15 years so far, they just say, well, I got 7 years, I can do whatever I want. Is that mentality? How can we counter that? I mean, especially with
this tenured position abuse thing has nothing to do with how rich or poor or how developed or undeveloped a country is. It has to do with human integrity. Tenure is abused the most often you run into tenure as an ordinary citizen is in academia. And in academia, tenure is abused. It is abused because they can get away with a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up in universities, some tenured professors were excellent and others were horrible, even sometimes abusive, even sometimes exhibited all kinds of prejudice and dishonesty in grading and all other kind of abusing their power. So tenure sounds good, but normally it's abused. And tenure doesn't make you immune from any kind of discipline. It just makes it difficult.
Yeah.
It makes it difficult to remove you. It doesn't mean you can't be removed. It makes it difficult to remove you. And so while it sounds good on paper, but people are getting away with a lot. You've got people who've committed crimes against people, been able to just erase the documents and say, well, you can't prove it because there's no documents to prove that I did it. And then they stay in the position. So the abuse that happens. So, I mean, if you're going to put people in tenured positions, they should be thoroughly vetted. Nobody should get a tenured position that walks in off the street, that has no experience. You've got people who are put into positions, put in charge of SOEs and charge of state-owned enterprises, who are basically secretaries. People's
girlfriends.
You take people that go put them in charge of institution that they have no experience managing anything. Because that your friend, or because of this, we won position and you were strong partisan, or your boyfriend is strong partisan. They will make you head of an important government institution. And then it's difficult to remove you. So that's a problem. Tenure positions are problematic, but at the same time, in certain circumstances, they're necessary because you have to balance it out. There are times when people do need protection so they can do the right thing, so they can do their jobs correctly. But there should be zero tolerance in tenured positions for corruption that can be proven. And if tenured positions are presidential appointments and people have empowered the president should be able to remove these people if he's not comfortable with them. Otherwise, take the position away from the presidency and make it something that maybe a board of commissioners will appoint, or some citizens ad hoc commission. You got the National Elections Commission. Maybe you can get some group of citizens and get some ad hoc board to put those people there. That way you can get around the trying to control presidential power part. But like I said, The Supreme Court needs to look at it again. We've got, a little bit of a reshuffle of justices. Y'all review this thing again, because I think it's flawed. I think it's flawed to have the president appoint people that he cannot remove just because the legislature wants a position tenured. It's better to remove the presidential appointment piece, have some other way of selecting tenured positions. Therefore, you will not be having this contradiction in the Constitution and the authority of the president and the legislature imposing, or not imposing, but restricting what the president can do with his appointments.
Thank you so much,
Cole. But Paolo, just my last
Yeah,
comment on this.
Yeah.
In addition to reviewing this thing vis-a-vis the powers of the president, my concern is just about the numbers of positions that have been made tenure. What criteria are they using? I know initially when this discussion started, there were maybe 4 or 5 of them. For whatever reason, they were set up, maybe the election commission, governance commission, or whatever. But then over time, became legislation, and almost all SOE positions or whatsoever became tenure. Why? So this has to be part of the review process if we must stick with that. So in addition to understanding who has the power to remove and to appoint and all those kinds of things, then we have to have a serious discussion on why are these institutions being tenured.
Why is the fisheries boss a tenured position? What's the big issue there?
I don't know.
Why is that tenured? Why is that tenured? So the president infallible? Why do you have tenure in many of these cases? And then you've got incompetent people. The EU come and not talking about the current person who's there by any means.
Yeah.
Speaking of past, completely incompetent, never had big job in their life. They get a big job. The EU come and tell them what to do. They do it because they don't even have a foot to stand. They don't belong there.
Same thing happened in locale.
They're being hauled around by their noses because they're not even qualified. Somebody who's never sat in a position to make a decision or make policy, you take them and you put them in charge of an institution. This has nothing to do with age. It's about experience.
It's about experience. Absolutely, Cole. It's about experience. And sometimes you're not supposed to say, look, I think the number, this is a guesstimation for me, maybe between 15-20% of the roles in the country, their tenure positions. I'm not talking about the underling, I'm talking about the heads of these entities. It's just too many roles that are tenure, and I think we need to revisit them. I can see things like the Elections Commission. I don't think it should be appointed by the president. That's just my view. Giving the kind of place it holds in our society. But like Cole said, fishery, bigger tenure, locale. Why is it tenure? Why some of these roles tenure? I can understand, maybe the anti-gravity institution, and like you say, a committee does that. That would make sense because we got work to do. But today,
it's because of corruption. Let's tell the truth, Walu. It's because of corruption. You tenure positions. I'll put my girl there. She will be doing it. Nobody can move her. Even when we leave the representative role, my girl will still be there.
Yeah.
To protect our interests.
What kind of interest? It don't make sense. A lot of people hold out. And the thing is, what must people do? It's the same thing with the House of Representatives or the Senate. They've given them 6 years. You fight 4 years, the man just rely. Don't give a fig about the people because the people are hungry. 2 years before the election, he start going there small.
You got people sitting in that legislature that are violent, sociopaths. Look at that one that assaulted Prince Tools. Those are the people making decisions for the country. A man that has no self-control, no impulse control. If he cannot control his hands and his rage, he just get up and hit his colleague like one animal. That what dogs do on the street. They get vexed with a friend dog for peeping into the territory. They just go biting. No self-control. Behaving like one animal. And then they said that people were fist fighting. So Prince Toad supposed to sit there and allow animal to attack him. He might not defend himself. The next time crazy dog in your community run behind you, don't fight it. You must stand there. Stand there, let a dog bite you. For God's sakes, people got to protect themselves. You laughing for what reason?
It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know the point that people sit there and they don't even understand what they say.
I'm not calling me a Gono. I'm not the superintendent of Nimba County. My name is Paul KAU.
So you're welcome to the show. A lot is trending in the country.
Is called KOU, even though her name should also be spelled with A, because we come from the same place, the same Goa Nimba, but that's a different story.
Yes.
But yeah.
We're not
the same person.
So the lawyer there in Liberia today, our people lawyer then fighting the Solicitor General and the most educated lawyer in the Republic of Liberia, with all the degree behind
I thought that the PST people.
GSA, LTA, the bugger, all. Let's listen to the Solicitor General first, then we'll listen to my man, and then we'll comment on it.
You're putting there on me? Why are you not putting on other that moment?
Because we are close ones. Welcome to the Media Council of Fire.
Thank you so much.
We saw both prosecution and defense team leaving the court just a few seconds ago, and Councillor Arthur Johnson did meet the media and accused you in particular about telling the public that indeed his client did confess to the crime.
Well, if there is any difference, you always see it, but I think there is nothing different will be from what I told you before. What I told you before is the real statement, is a statement of fact. Besides the crime, he himself stood where he stood just now and said but it was under the national security. He, Arthur Johnson, said that.
He described your statement as a blatant lie.
Well, if it's a lie, then you'll review his statement. He made the first interview. The interview was made right in front of the court there. That the people took the money, they used the money, but they used it for national security. And it was never used for national security. We maintain that money was never used for national security. They took the money, they stole the money in LA. They stole the money.
I'm going to stop right here. And then before we go to him, the only thing is that big gogo on your face, that different story.
Leave my papa alone. Leave my papa alone. Move from here. Don't jealous him. The papa got swag.
Straight to the point. I'll give you a gogo.
Our papa got swag.
He won't know. He said that people stole the money, and he explained the issue of statute. And just because you have a statutory mandate, it doesn't mean you can go off outside the confines of that statute and do something that is not in accordance with the mandate of that office. Call your position.
Never used for national security. No, I go and get my own shades.
Go get my shades. We're waiting for you. Go get my shades.
Yeah, I'll put on my face so you can't see how I look at you sideways. You wasted. You so wasted with the truth. That's what you call fearless.
Yeah.
That's what you call fearless. Some people have lived their lives, they've seen things.
Yep.
And they're gonna stand up for Liberia and stand on principle. I respect that, Pape. Yeah.
Sure.
Let me tell you. So Seattle, I know that Kisi Pape. We Maro people, we are called the Kisi people, our nieces and nephews. That's a cultural thing. So Kisi people are called me Ente-Call. The Kisi people are my nieces and nephews. Even our Pape, that's the head of state.
Yeah.
Traditionally, all the Mano people are your aunties and uncles. Y'all know that, right, Seattle? So this our Kisi Pape, this is my profound nephew. Let me tell y'all, they don't take nonsense. Dwalu, the Kisi Pape to the river near Foya there, that on the Guinea side, that maybe come up to your elbow. You saw the vexation and the courage in that Pape, even though he's dead wrong.
Yeah.
Even though he's wrong, but the principle that man on, he stand on it. He every morning he wake up, go to the river to insult and to curse the people across the river.
I hope my God.
I
God.
Every morning he wear fresh clothes.
You won't know.
He take him back. We walk to the river bank.
Deal with it.
Standing on justice and on principle, because that Papa going off of the 19. What is it?
1905.
The 1911, 1905, yes, the 1905. Because the Papa, going off the 90, he saw it before 1972. What he failed to realize is after independence, Sekou Touré and Talbot in 1971, December 71, going to 72, not December 71, in 1972, they redid the boundaries to make sure that they followed the rivers and it was the center of the river, because what France did to Liberia was an act of aggression, and they corrected that in 1972, thanks to the late great Amase Couture. That is the agreement that we're living under, and that's where people are confused. But I know I'm getting off the topic. I just wanted to say hail to all my Kisi nieces and nephews. I respect you all for your strength and your grumble. Did I give crew people a bad name, but y'all the real grumble people are like, bro.
Mr. Namwe, before you even comment, let's listen to the Solicitor General again, Mr. Fire. Small more before you comment. I'm reserving the most book man in Liberia for a second, but I want to listen to the Solicitor General again. Small more. He's still here off it. The Gogu still in it. Listen to him.
Yeah, man noted for discussing matter that comes from court. Matter from court, the journalist will be in a position to go to the court and receive the court file and discuss, or sit down as a journalist and take notes, which I respect you for. You always taking notes. But for me to come out to say I discuss matter that is before the court, it is not my practice. And the man who treated me, may his soul rest in peace, Councillor David Jala. When we used to come from the court, you ask him for matter in court, he said, excuse me, go to the court and take the record. So I have been brought up in that manner and fashion. But for the purpose of what obtained today, I think I need to clarify. I'm the Solicitor General. There's no doubt about it. I don't need to even go out to talk about anything for people to know. I have been trained for the job, and I think I have never misbehaved. But let me say to you that today we have the jury selection, and that was very, very much done, partially done. We selected 9.
Councillor, can you please hold the microphone for us?
Yes. We selected 9, and we have 6 more to complete the panel, and we proceed with the trial. But I heard the councillor, my younger brother, my best brother that I love, talking about me, that I lie, that there are no admission, that they use the money, that is subject of the litigation. I have no business lying, but you know, in African parable, they have something, they say the tongue crier does not quote himself or does not quote herself. In this case, if Ada Johnson wants the clarity of the matter, all he needs to do is to go a bit later back where he stood today to make the utterance that I'm a liar. Let him review himself what he said there. We came from the court, he said, these people use the money, but they use it for national security. Now, that is a myth. When you say people use the money for national security, there are rules controlling the usage of money for national security. If it is for electoral purposes, I serve as legal counsel for election. When we are having election, our budget at the election commission will capture security issue. The security issue like immigration, the police, and the other, that budget will be incorporated into the budgets of the election commission. So if they took the money and used the money, for what purpose? So when he say in his pleading, all of his pleading, that people use the money, but they use it for the purpose of security, national security. But who are those that took their money for national security?
Mr. Nambe, who are those that took this money for national security?
I don't know.
That's my question. Me, I'm asking the
I
question.
can reach you. I don't know.
You can reach you?
But listen. You know, it let D12 for the men of hitting way ahead. So it makes it very difficult to defend the man.
Yeah.
Huh? The men were under the sycamore tree, the late sycamore tree, and he there. He said, yeah, that's the late sycamore tree. And he said, me, I get election commission $4 million more.
Yeah. Don't put me in
yeah, $4 million. I did this one, and so.
You talking
about national security reason. The thing I know about national security, I start talking and blah 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 blah. It's documented. You know, yesterday when we were talking about my gay stuff, the other day talking about my gay stuff, and the girl were mentioning documentary evidence. Right? So it don't have to be written. These are utterances coming from your mouth. It's video recorded, you know. And so you've said this, you've admitted that you did this because for so and so. But my friend, this is not your role. That you're supposed to make those decisions and all those kinds of things. You don't enjoy the privilege that a president has. You can't do something and you say it's by instruction. Gone through, the Supreme Court has ruled on issues like that.
Mr.
Okay?
Namwe,
Yeah.
Mr. Namwe, before you go, let you hear from Tua himself before they say that meeting won't talk here. Listen to him. 1 second.
I gave the national elections 4 million more than they needed. You come for me, you use it for election or you eat it. Okay? You fight prime minister, you can't know everything about the state. I'm a member of the National Security Council.
Mr. Namwe.
Yeah.
So if 1 second, let me mute this. So if, according to the Council of Fire, security matters are normally captured in the budget of the NEC. So what additional 4 million was he giving them for? What purpose? And he didn't even give it to them. Mr. Namwe.
Well, you heard it from the horse's mouth. So he now have to say what the $4 million was for. Did the NDC request that $4 million? Because during the last election, there were always issues around money business, you know, from the election commission about this one, about that one, and all those kinds of things. And so no. So what is the security related issues around elections that he's talking about? There are processes for requesting money, even if it's additional financing. That then show the documentation. And that's what the Solicitor General is saying. That if you give it for a security reason to National Election Commission, no. In our planning, in our budgeting, we consider all security-related actions. It's budgeted for as part of the overall budget the National Election Commission submits. So what other security issue are you talking about?
Now listen to the most educated counselor in Liberia defend his client.
Good afternoon, Councillor Johnson. Welcome to the media.
Yeah, look, let me just make something very quick and clear. The last time the Solicitor General came here and told you people that the defendants in this case have confessed to the crime, that is a lie. It's not true. No one confessed to a crime. There is a difference between confession to criminality, and making a point. Confession to the crime means the man is admitting to the crimes in the indictment that he committed the offense. That is not the case. What happened in this case is that there is a statutory function, or there were statutory functions that were carried out by the former Minister of Finance. That is under section 14.2 of the Public Finance Law. The law says that the Minister of Finance has the authority, statutory authority, to authorize payments that have been recommended by any of the branches of government within the budget or authorized within the budgetary laws of Liberia. And that is exactly what the Minister of Finance have done. And that payment was made to the appropriate administrative agency that was authorized at the level of the National Security Council by the President of Liberia at the time, His Excellency George Manawia. And so on the basis of this, no one should criminalize when the Solicitor General comes out and says that was confession. That's not confession. Confession is all of the allegations that have been made. Yes, we agree, we the one committed. No, there was no crime here. There was a statutory function that was carried out and it had been criminalized. So we want to make that clear. If the Solicitor General agrees with what he said the last time, that the defendants are confessed to the crime, then why are we selecting jurors? So that is to tell you that what the Justice Minister was intending to do at the time, we call a trial by TV and trial by Facebook. The perception is to get the perception of the sentiments of potential jurors who will be coming to come with the cloud of the mind to say that if you the people are confessed to the crime. There is no confession to crime. If there was confession to crime, we will not select jurors. Today, there will be a date of sentencing. So that's not true. There was no criminality, and we still want to reiterate that the action of these defendants was a national security action. The actions of the defendants were national security actions and responsibilities that were carried out. Those actions that were carried out were statutory functions that were responsible to keep the stability of this country during the period of the elections. The peace we enjoy today was based on the statutory expression of the mandate of the finance minister being authorized by the National Security Council, which exists within the office of the president. Thank you. That's the character I wanted to make.
So I have
Nonsense. I come in, Cole. Cole runs transport ministry. She says she spent extra $3 million because of national security risk, pimping and speeding too much on Nizo Road. It's not justified. You use it for national security. But to your own.
So he said that his client didn't confess to the crime because he's not pleading guilty.
Correct.
It's two different things.
Mm-hmm.
You can be guilty of a crime and you can plead not guilty for reasons of insanity. You can say that I killed this person, but I'm not guilty because I was insane at the time.
Correct.
It's basically what he's doing. He's saying, I did this thing, but I am not going to plead guilty because my crime was justified.
Exactly.
Saying that your crime was justified is still confessing that you did what they're accusing you of doing. Correct. You're just saying that you were justified in doing it. So he thinks he's talking to stupid people.
Exactly.
This lawyer, or he knows he's not talking to stupid people and he thinks his client is stupid and he's working for his money. I think the latter is true. I think he knows we're not stupid. I think he thinks his client is stupid. So he's going to just, all that performance is for his client to keep bringing him money, right? Because the man clearly said he did what the court is accusing him of doing. He's just saying, hey, but it was justified, right? It's like somebody being accused of murder. And then you say, at that time that I killed the person, I was in a rage. So I'm not guilty because I lost my mind at that moment. It almost never works, right? He's trying to say, well, somebody who I respect a lot, that was the president, told me to do it. And with a national security, all those excuses do not justify the act. That's the point. So your client did in fact confess. Yeah. And the excuses that you're giving for him admitting to committing the act are not enough. That's why we have a jury trial, because he's trying to claim that he's not guilty for reasons of stupidity. Not insanity, but stupidity. And there's never been a criminal that has been let off the hook because they were not smart. No, I ain't know what I was doing when I stole. I've never heard somebody say the person was not smart when they stole, so therefore they're not guilty. Does it make sense, Dwalu?
It makes absolutely no sense. No matter will take care of that. Tua knows the situation, but you are right on the issue of Arthur Johnson. The man a lawyer. The longer the case go out, the more he can stretch more money out of them. And I understand what he's trying to do. But before I go to Mr. Nambi, I want you to answer this question, though, Carl. The Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia has ruled on similar issue before. Mm-hmm. It's ruled on the case, I think, 1 or 2 times already. You cannot take the function of the president and you go on that war, the immunity of the president, and you cannot sublet it, so to speak, and say, well, it was mandated by the president, so I went and did it. They've already ruled on this case. Now, we don't know where the money is. Besides saying the money was sent to NEC, nobody's been able to track the money. Obviously, the money did go somewhere. Can Twa now stand and say, listen, we send the money to this place. I should not be held accountable for this. Yes, I sent the money. I've admitted to sending this money, but I cannot be held liable. Cannot hold, even though the Supreme Court has already ruled on this matter in similar case. Mm-hmm. Cannot hold in court? Which way?
Of course not. And the lawyer knows it. We all know it. They're dragging this thing on. Maybe they're hoping that there will be, some Armageddon. Maybe there'll be a nuclear holocaust and he will not get to go to prison. They're just dragging this thing out because they can't be dragging this out for 2029 because they're not ever going back to power. Yeah. So maybe they're hoping and praying that somebody misfires a nuclear weapon and they mistake our flag for the U.S. flag and strike us or something, and then he won't have to go to jail. Maybe that's the hope. That they're dragging this thing out for what reason? It will end, and it will end with a conviction. It's clear the case is so solid against these people. I would just throw myself at the mercy of the court if I were Twa. but he's using up government resources. The court will not be as merciful when it's time for him to try to strike a plea deal. Or if his lawyer really meant him well, he would say, listen, my man, confess, strike a plea deal, name your accomplices.
Yep.
Yeah, I did these things. I was under duress. The most powerful man in the world.
Keep talking.
The most powerful man in the country told me to do it. I was scared for my own safety. So I did it. And that were not only him, that were McGill. I will start naming names.
You know, don't joke around. This is a serious legal position.
That's why the real lawyer is going to advise his client. My man, you're going to jail.
Sam McGill on the ball. Poor president, we are on the boss. He got immunity. Put him on the ball.
You can chunk under the bus to avoid jail time. People say, we are threatening your life and safety.
We are in the money.
And you did it, and you throw yourself at the mercy of the court and name names. Name names will all be there with our popcorn. You will become hero. My brother, name names.
That's under normal. That's coming. Let me say my theory. That's under normal circumstances.
Yeah.
You all got to realize that these boys are operating under a court.
Oh, okay.
Huh? So he not evil. Whatever thing to do order. But let me tell you my thoughts on this.
Yeah.
Right? That 14-point whatsoever thing that the lawyer is talking about, that section was revised in 2019. And here I'm thinking towards it. These boys came in, they knew exactly what they wanted to do. And I'll tell people that as far as my experience tells me, that the CDC people just took they took all the bad things that happened under Ellen's regime and upgraded them. So you have, 2.0, 3.0, and all that kind of thing. And this is my personal view, right? So there are a lot of differentiated things that happen, here and there. So they just upgraded it. So they may have, after a year, have just started and said, look, things were happening before under the national security to do and blah, blah, blah. The law said this and that. Let's, in fact, amend that provision from the 2009 Act. So the amendment to the PFM was officially approved on October 22, 2019. The updated law, known as the amended restated PFM Act of 2019, provides the primary legal authority for governing public finances. And a lot of it talk about, the secrecy of national, say what, the public financial management regulation of Liberia revised amendment governs the confidentiality of specific government expenditure. It specifically stipulates that expenditures related to national security policy may be treated as confidential, exempting them from standard public disclosure requirements.
Okay.
So they amended the law. This is the 2009 Act to specifically put this section in. So this is the 14.2 that even the data is not even stating rightly.
Correct.
Okay. But here's the catch. Where has to be in the position to say that on this day, on the basis of this instruction, written by the president, were instructed to do this and that. Okay? Or the national security, whatever it is they call it, committee or so and so, on this date, this is the resolution that is made for A, B, C, and D to happen. He must be able to say where that money went to, how it was utilized to the benefit of improving national security. Because if you go further to that tape that you just played, this guy was saying the security we enjoy today is an outcome of some of the expenditure that was made.
It can't be that vague.
No, but now after Johnson was saying out there today, the security that we enjoy today It's part of the outcome of the expenditure that were made. So how? How? It's not sufficient to just say this. Okay? So for me, in my mind, it was very intentional to do that amendment. And they thought that that would have provided some protection. And once that was done, was approved, it became a national highway. Because this thing has come to the public glare, nobody believed that it was going to be possible to ever audit the NSA. But Joe Parker did it. He did it. The GSE audited NSA. And they saw a lot of things. Of course, there will not be full disclosure in the public about their findings.
Correct.
Okay? But that report will be classified. Certain parts of that report will be classified. But that doesn't preclude a judge from looking at that. You know, I say redacted.
Yeah.
The portion will be redacted and all that kind of thing. This happens in other places. Because they never believed that it was ever going to be possible. Somebody was going to be brave enough and bold enough to order an audit of the NSA. That never happened. And that is why when that announcement was made, you heard people from left and right, even people in the current system. This was bad example. You can't do this. Now you put people at risk. There are people this, that. So Boga say, yo, audit the thing. When the report comes, you bring it to me. People with clearances will review the report. Huh? We'll review the report. You see? So I Joe Parker for you.
Yes.
So he went inside there. So when the judge, when after talking all the his thing, after Johnson talking all his thing, listen, forget that there is hardcore evidence that he will be able to see, given that he is the lawyer for TWEC, and the judge and people that they will give clearances to will be able to see it. We in the public may not be able to see it, but the judges will be able to see it. That this amount of money was moved. That was spent. Those will be the question they will ask.
There's a Senate standing committee on security, obviously. Don't let anybody tell you government money cannot be audited. They have to follow the money and understand exactly where this money is going. But you got to understand, Samuel Twe was sanctioned by the Americans. And I just want to bring this in. And before Samuel Twe came back from America, when he came to Liberia, Samuel Twe was literally a truck driver in Minnesota. So they know he had no money. So when you see Samuel Twe bank account just started growing massively in the millions of dollars, somebody know what was going on. These indictments are not for nothing. Let me ask you, yes, it's slippery slope code. Because if for some reason, by some miracle, Samuel Twe doesn't get convicted, tomorrow Dwalu is Minister of Finance, I can use the same defense and say I use it for national security. What do you think that will make the country? Because this cannot suffice. I know that the court has ruled on this matter, and Samuel Twe just trying to buy time. We understand it. As Arthur Johnson trying to eat as much as he can from them. He knows the deal. But the issue here is, if you follow the money, Twe literally stole that money. The expectation was they will be in power for 12 years. By that time, everything will get muddy in the water. They will do whatever they can. And I think Samuel Twe is holding on with the hope that by some magic, angels will descend from the heavens and take Lucky Grenade Boys back to power, and maybe they'll be able to cover this. What do you think he's waiting for, Cole? Because I don't know if I were him, I'd start cutting the deal.
Yeah, I think it's late now. His lawyer put him in a pile of mess. So all that thing I was talking, I was voking him. The time for that has passed. It's no longer necessary because he already confessed. They already got him. There's nowhere to go. His cooperation is of no value at this point because he's already said he did it, and he already dragged the former president Weah into his shenanigans.
Yeah.
And he didn't do so in a plea deal. He just did it because he doesn't know when to stop talking.
That's right.
Or his lawyer doesn't like him and set him up so he could dig a hole for himself. I don't know which one it is, but it's amusing to watch. It's sad that they did these things to the Liberian people. It's sad that they ripped off the country. But watching these people in real time get their just deserves, watching them get I know this is not the proper use of the term karma, but in the colloquial sense, getting a slap of karma while we're still here to witness it is quite amusing to watch. You saw him standing there. Did he look confident to you?
No, you're looking dry, sir.
He didn't look confident to me. He got the dark shades on like he's trying to hide his teary eyes. He knows.
They're playing one more time so he can see.
Yeah, play again. The man knows he's in trouble.
Good afternoon, Mr. Johnson. Welcome to the media.
Yeah, look, let me just make something very quick and clear. The last time the Solicitor General came here and told you people that the defendants in this case have confessed to the crime, that is a lie. It's not true. No one confessed to a crime. There is a difference between confession to criminality, and making a point. Confession to the crime means the man is admitting to the crimes in the indictment that he committed the offense. That is not the case. What happened in this case is that there is a statutory function, or there were statutory functions that were carried out by the former Minister of Finance. That is under section 14.2 of the Public Finance Law. The law says that the Minister of Finance has the authority, statutory authority, to authorize payments that have been recommended by any of the branches of government within the budget or authorized within the budgetary laws of Liberia. And that is exactly what the Minister of Finance have done. And that payment was made to the appropriate administrative agency that was authorized at the level of the National Security Council by the President of Liberia at the time, His Excellency George Manawia. And so on the basis of this, no one should criminalize when the Solicitor General comes out and says that was confession. That's not confession. Confession is all of the allegations that have been made, yes, we agree, we the one committed. No, there was no crime here. There was a statutory function that was carried out and it had been criminalized. So we want to make that clear. If the Solicitor General agrees with what he said the last time, that the defendants are confessed to the crime, then why are we selecting jurors? So that is to tell you that what the Justice Minister was intending to do at the time, we call a trial by TV and trial by Facebook. The perception is to get the perception of the sentiments of potential jurors who will be coming to come with the cloud of the mind to say that if you owe the people are confessing.
Look, Dwalu, Twa looks like he's doing security detail for
Johnson. He's
looking all around. He's not comfortable in his skin. He's searching all around. He looked like he's on security detail for Johnson. And let me tell y'all something. Johnson, a wicked man. Hey, boy. Johnson, what are you doing to a dirty like that? What are you doing to bed dirty like that? And you know what's sad about the whole situation? Twa is in a position where somebody is drowning. You ever hear this saying? And you throw them one dry stick. They will hold on to it. Johnson, that a dry stick they threw for Twa. Twa holding on to that man for dear life. Twa, the man that not float up. The man that not canoe. He cannot carry you across the water. You inside, the man can't help you. It's an illusion. You just grabbing him, and then he wicked. I even stick that snake. And he grabs so. And he playing with you. He playing with you, telling you carry you across, but he's a predator. The man said, all the things you talking, it makes sense. They're not a sycamore tree going to judge you, or a human being with minds that have not been brainwashed that will judge you, Papa. You finish. Tell me your own call. That's all I gotta say.
Dwalu, Arthur Johnson is a very bad person.
No, the man are brilliant lawyers.
Showmanship. That man lies with confidence. The message section 14.2 says that the Minister of Finance has authority, blah, blah, blah. Dwalu, read what section 14.9 says. I just sent something to your messenger.
Okay.
Read the section and listen to what the guy is saying.
It's
totally unrelated. Totally unrelated. And he's lying with confidence. It says that the Minister of Finance
money on his wrist, solid gold bracelet. Look, that real snake you grab in the water.
14.9 says the Minister of Finance has the right to pay as well, but it's unrelated. Nothing has to do.
Nobody's supposed to look it up. Nobody's expected to look it up. You're not supposed to look it up.
No,
You're not supposed to look it up.
He knows people will look it up. You know what happened? He doesn't think Twitter will look it up, or he's not he told Twitter, you know, the whole population is illiterate. So once you do it one of it, do it like that, they even they can read. We lie or we can read.
The fucking lie. Open that lie. Section 14.9 of the PFM.
No, that 14.2, right?
14.2, sorry, 14.2.
Yeah,
14.2 of the PFM law. Purpose. It defines the scope for confidentiality spending within the national budget. Context. The regulation complements the PFM Act by providing a mechanism to shield sensitive national security, intelligence, or defense-related financial transactions from public view. It
So what? So about they may have the authority to
tell the money. So just because it's shielded from the public, it doesn't mean the government standing on security cannot review it.
He's not interpreting that section, Dwalu. He is telling you what the section is.
What Kisi Pape said? Time Crier can't quote himself. Time Crier quoting himself.
So
he's not quoting law, he quoting himself.
It never hurts, Cole. We got to give our brothers some recommendations. I know you've begun with this recommendation. Now, twice you have a plea bargain. It's never too late to plead. You can be in the last day you plead. Let me tell you, for me, I want for you to go to jail for 40 years. But let me tell you, you can get 5 years. Let me tell you, you get 5 years. You can go, you put Joe, you put it on the bus. Samara will call it then, you turn it on the bus because all the men is when I'm man. I want you the mouth. The other 4 men that were you turn on, they already on the bus, you push it on the tire. You feel how you get a far away, yeah. Maybe they'll tell you to restitute about $2 million. All the horses in Africa that you bought and the other money in the way you shop in the corner, bang there across Africa, you give it back to the Liberian government. Maybe 5 years you will get out in 3 years.
Yeah.
That is your best hope. Maybe God will get a better recommendation for you.
Leo on God.
Leo on
God.
And you know, that's just what
the mercy of the Almighty. What?
Well, here's the thing. That is just one of the many cases hanging around this board.
I know.
That is just one.
The ball get drowned.
The ball has probably about 10 cases that will call him on. 10.
I remember when he started the stage, and the CDC will be in power forever. That's why he was stealing.
Yeah.
You remember that thing? What a bad problem.
Let me be talking to the fire go. Look, that boy all in the country. He said, you know what, wrong? We won't bring development. But you know, people trying to democratize this issue. Somebody goes up, get your poor Joe, we are there forever. And with
forever. So we can stay forever.
Lewis,
Papa, forever.
If I were you, I'd do a plea bargain. Don't listen to that lawyer. He's killing you. Let's just shift up here a little bit. Everybody blames Mayor Siafa for the city dirtiness. And, you know, people constantly doing it. But what people don't understand is they also have a responsibility to the country code. A lot of people believe that when you're trying to try somewhere, and the city mayor, so you'll be following behind with bucket and pick out in the trash. Now, I understand the city mayor does have a responsibility to the country to pick up this garbage. But look at how our city look. People setting fire to the garbage. Can we really get a good company to come to the country with being a dirty city? Let me play this 15-second video.
TTV online backup. This is the mess. The mayor Siafa put on his, as you can see, the smoke all over. The mess Siafa put on. TTV backup.
That's just nasty.
It's just nasty. Just the film alone. Go ahead.
And let me say something here. This is a national security issue. This is because this is affecting the health and well-being of the population.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to come into all. I know you're going to ask.
Go ahead.
The burning of trash, the people dumping things on the ground. This is very serious. Children are developing asthma. I have friends in healthcare in Liberia, friends in healthcare here in the States who go and volunteer in Liberia, all of the above. And people's concerns are very serious about these kinds of situations. Children, the rate of asthma because of the poor air quality, the trash is being burned, mosquitoes, these things create health problems in the population. People are literally dying because of the trash. Yes, the city mayor needs to make sure that they bring companies or hire companies or figure out quickly clean up ways to keep this trash, but also the police, law enforcement need to make sure that they're patrolling at night so that they can catch people dumping trash in the wrong places. Things need to be put together. This is not something that is okay. We got police working 24 hours a day. Where the police can be when the people bringing all the trash and putting it on the road, putting it in the gutter, where they can be at. What is going on? Where is the public awareness? The people who dump in the trash, their own children getting sick and dying from it. We've got to do better. And it's disgusting. When I was in Liberia in December, I got sick.
Yeah.
I lost my voice. The air quality, besides the normal dust that can be there in December, which is just part of nature, all that stuff can blow down from the Sahara. I understand that. But on top of that, people were burning trash. So it wasn't the normal Sahara dust haze that could be in the air in December. It was that coupled with exhaust fumes and trash burning and all of the pollution just added up together. And maybe also me going on December 6th and screaming at the top of my lungs, UP, maybe that also contributed. But the dust did not help. I had to end up wearing a mask and I got sick. My point I'm making here is that it's a public health issue. It's an emergency. And I even would say it's elevated to an issue of national security. When anything is threatening the safety and health of the citizens, it's a national security issue. The same way Ebola was threatening people's lives, this trash is threatening people's lives. Take it seriously. And this is not an issue only for the Monrovia City Mayor. It's for every citizen, every government agency that has anything to do with regulating anything or enforcing. Y'all put all hands on deck, EPA, LMP, Ministry of Health. Everybody has a role to play. This has to stop.
I couldn't agree with you more, Cole. Mr. Number, we're going to come to you. We are getting reports, but I'm trying to find a government source, and I don't want to put it out there regarding Liberia Airport Authority, their managing director. I don't know what's going on. I don't want to state it here because I'm looking at all the sites. I want to get it from a government website. I don't just want to get it from social media. Sometimes it can be misleading. So we're not going to talk about it until it's published out to the Ministry of Information, Ministry of Justice, the Executive Mansion website. But until that is done, I am not going to report this because there's a lot here where I'm not 100% sure. I'm still trying to verify Stephen was here, anybody else was here. But Mr. Number, the trash across the city, this is damaging. You know, Liberian people, before I come to you, I want to say that every time you're burning the trash, that smoke will going in the air. It gets on thin inside the core, small particle. The particle, it got thin inside, so now when you breathe it go into your lungs. Now you the small you breathe, it can make you sick, it can even kill people and all. So the trash, when you put different trash, you put cool paper, you put and human waste, you put pee, you put rotten fish, when you burn all together, it can send smoke in the air. That smoke, when people breathe that smoke, your lungs cannot safeguard the smoke goo. It will get into your body. So now you can even fall down and die. So the garbage being piled up somewhere, it's not just the smell. That smell alone, so now it can give you a serious problem. So if for all, I understand the mayor for both Painesville and the city of Monrovia, they are doing their job. They're trying to get, but it seems they're being overwhelmed. But what is going on? We need a better strategy, Mr. Nambe, regarding the trash in the city if we're going to get some serious investors to come here.
And Dwalu, this is probably one of the biggest sore eyes that we've had in this country for a very long time. But as far back as, when Mary Brown was making a bit of progress in how we manage our garbage.
Yeah.
The entire thing broke down in the 6 years that George Weah and the people were in charge, where they just, now it's too much for us. And you pass around and you see this path from red light, you have mountains of this thing and all of that. So people have developed a culture of just throwing trash anywhere and everywhere, and that has to be a whole reorientation. And the truth is that both the Monrovia City Corporation, the Painesville City Corporation, They are overwhelmed. Okay, that's one. Two, the local governance act also contributed to this problem, to the effect where the city now is divided. Moravia itself is defined, with a small scope. So you got boroughs, you got governors who also have this responsibility to be able to manage the different trash. I was speaking to the city mayor the other day and just concerned about this. And these are some of the things he was saying. Okay. So if you, for example, in Douala, okay, so it's expected that the Nikuta is a borough, including Douala and all of that. So the governor there has those responsibilities under the new arrangement. So it's Gardnersville, and so are a lot of different places, but they don't do it, although they go around collecting fees here and there. So there has to be a whole rediscussion. But if you look at the amount of budgetary support that goes to the MCC, it's very minimal. This city is overly populated, and garbage is developed every day. Every time I pass at the back of Ministry of Public Works going to work, that section between what street is that? Benson Street coming down towards the Public Works area, that section on the what that street name. But this is where the guy is using as a staging station. But every day that stuff is piled up. He cleans it. 2 days is piled up. Because where does he carry the stuff? Now, there's been all this discussion about trying to hire and bring somebody in. There are issues around, this company is now good. And so it's a major, major problem that I think people just need to pay some attention to. But that burning they're doing is very, very dangerous.
Can I respond to something?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Okay, so I have a lot of respect for Siafa, for the mayor, the city mayor of Monrovia. And the excuses that we're making are not okay. Okay? It's not okay. Siafa is a very smart man. This issue is not a problem of intellect or problem solving. It's a political problem. It's a political problem, and it takes courage to resolve. It's not that he doesn't know what to do. And the issues that you're mentioning, the obstacles are political obstacles, Mr. Nangbe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Bureau of Nukutown, we got a new arrangement, we got this, we got that. At some point, as the mayor, the president appointed you. You are in charge of that city, all within the city limits. I don't care what responsibilities these borough and commissioner people, all these people have, it doesn't matter. Go to the president. Mr. President, it's a state of emergency. Your health is at risk. You work in the city. You pass at these places. You breathe this air. You breathe this air. I breathe this air. Get some kind of presidential decree and move. You can't say, the budget to the city is small. Go and make your case to His Excellency, to the legislature, to the Minister of Finance. It is an emergency.
It is.
Don't be made the other person. Stop being politically correct. During President Salisa's administration, when she appointed me somewhere, I feared no one but her. In fact, I respected her, but I did what I had to do. And whenever I was doing something and people want to go complain, and she will call me, I will explain why I was doing it.
Cole, let me say this. Look, the thing is we got to find solution. Now, I have
there
to
are
be very
solutions.
there are solutions. I have to be very careful on this very issue because everybody know there was nothing more that I wanted than to run that city. What is happening in the city?
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, what's happening in the city? There was a whole discussion in the back mirror. A bunch of people on my team. That problem can be solved yesterday without having to look for different budget. The solution is there. In fact, I have even made a recommendation on this very website. I mean, on this very platform. If they're waiting to pull me from my job, contract it. We will fund it initially. The city don't have to pay any money. They still be getting millions of dollars. But nobody wants to listen. The city is expanding. You need a strategy to remove the trash. The way we are doing it cannot work because you don't have enough money.
We're not even doing it at all, it looks like.
We're not doing it. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. I've said this for the last, even between the elections. This is my plan for the city. I want a new city hall. First and foremost, our place is very small. It's a new way to expand the city. We have to organize the city. We had a massive plan for the city. Trash collection was the least amongst them.
Why does the city hall need to be bigger?
Huh?
Why? Does the city hall, yeah.
Oh, no. There's a reason why. There's a whole lot of reason why. And I could explain it. It'll take for hours to explain them. It's not just where the city hall is located. The city hall has to make money. Here's the thing that's happening with city hall, Carl. The city hall sits and waits for the budget that is allocated to the city to run the city. This is crazy. Monrovia City Corporation is regenerate its own money after the span of 3 years. Maximum. The government don't have to send a dime to the city. This can be done. Take a look at the plan. Not free. I was telling about that. Not free because I paid for these plans. I generated these plans. The problem is,
I don't want you to share all your proprietary information.
Yeah, I'm not.
But I just wanted to get a gist of what you're saying. Let's focus on the trash.
Mm-hmm. Just the trash.
I'm gonna be the interviewer now. You're the person. What is the solution for the trash?
The trash is very simple. What's happening in the city? Let me tell you like this: the government is using front end loaders and the yellow machines, yellow truck, to remove the trash. Not only is it a cake, it's ridiculous. Let me give you an example. To take one load of trash from Central Monrovia to Wintown public site, it will cost the government almost $275 for one load of truck. We can do it for almost $75. We don't even need a truck. We don't need a front end loader. The day say, how is your meter code? The day say, how you going to do it? I cannot tell you how I'm going to do it. But what the problem here is, the city can be making money. Millions of dollars are going to waste in the city. I have said this continuously. If you want to keep time for the city mayor, Dwalu, my man, I say that's the only thing I want. I don't want nothing else. Let me run the city. But it became a whole rigmarole. And look,
what about the property tax enforcement and percentage of property taxes being mandated for trash removal?
What happened here with the property tax? You can do property tax, but because we don't have a proper addressing system, that will create complication additionally.
You don't need an address system.
No, I understand now. But listen now, but you need some database that is trackable of who lives where, blah, 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 blah. You don't need to do that.
So let me say what I'm saying. This is just another idea.
Yeah.
If you collect property taxes and you say, because it can go into a pool.
Correct.
Right? We're going to collect property taxes, and 15% of all property taxes in the city, properties in the city of Monrovia, are going to go towards trash removal in the city of Monrovia. Why not?
Is that the reason why? Let me tell you the reason why.
Because you have central repositories for where people can carry trash that are in the city. It's for managing the city. So those resources can be funded by property taxes. You don't have to go to people's addresses to collect garbage.
I
That's
understand.
how it's done everywhere. On some places in the world, there's community sites where you can carry the trash, and that is where they pick the trash up from.
Yeah, but we don't need a central repository because the way Moria is, there is no space for trash. There will be no trash dumps anywhere in the city, but the trash will be removed. So you don't need a central repository.
Not dump sites.
Not dump site. I'm talking about dumpster. We don't need dumpster in the city. You do not.
Even if they're collected daily?
No, they're not. I'm going too deep now. But here's the thing, Cole. This can be done. It can make the city millions of dollars.
Okay.
Take a look at it. I'm not going to walk away from my job if commitments are not made. You make a commitment, we come in, we address this problem. We even wanted to change the. Okay, the dumpster at Wintown is full. That place needs to be closed down. And every now and then, the people will burn that same trash to Wintown. Now, they've been building this place in Cheeseburg for a while. And now location now. The transportation from this, there's so many factors that go into this stuff.
Okay.
And we not talk, we tire. And I'm saying, listen, if that's what you want, we can come in the first 6 months, we do it. If you see it work, you pay all what we spend.
Okay.
But the city can make money. The city can, but I already taking that one off the table because we've been putting it forward. Nobody want to listen. So we move it. The city can remove the trash and there will be no dumpster anywhere. In the market, anywhere in Liberia. It is doable. But it takes smart thinking. You got to put the right people around the table to do this. But we not talk about this. Nobody wants to listen. People bring yellow machine, the D1B hole somewhere. Water set in the hole. Mosquito sit there in that same hole. They bring another place some of the DB hole. Mosquito set in the hole. You cannot run a modern city that way. There is no dump site in New York City. There is no dump site in Hanoi. There is no dump site in Seoul. But there's something that happens in these locations. And that organizes it. And what we have done, we have built the platform. It took me 5 years to put this together, to build the platform, to address the city. And it's been tested. It works.
Okay.
But nobody want to listen. And sometimes people think it's about this or that.
But we're listening to you, Dwalu.
No, but I mean, I'm done with what I'm saying because
nobody, Dwalu, are listening to you.
No, I'm talking about right now on the show. I'm talking about Egypt.
You. But no, on a serious note, there are a lot of solutions to problems, and we just need to make sure that the right ears are there, that they fall on the right ears. I think the mayor said challenges are not solutions; it's political, and I hope that he's listening.
I spoke to him the last time. Actually, I was saying
stop worrying about people's feelings.
Yeah, I spoke to him the last time. Actually, Fatima was in the office. We had a conversation, very welcoming. But we have to get serious and put something down on the table. To look, solutions don't come cheap. But if it's going to make you money and improve the city, you take a look at it. I would say this. Look, the foreigners that come to the country and tell you say they can do this, do that, they don't have a vested interest in the country the way Dwalu will, because this is my home. I was born right in that city. So we have the solution. They didn't go to different schools. Organize this stuff. Let's put the men on the ground. Let's address this issue. You don't need the yellow machine. You don't need the BB Chani truck. This is extremely expensive to run this operation in the city. It costs $225 to $275 for one dirt load to leave Monrovia. This is not sustainable.
No,
it's not sustainable. And that's the issue.
Why doesn't the city have its own machines?
Their own machine, even to run the machine. The machine, let me tell you something. I have tanker trucks in the city. The city of Monrovia, if you're running a tanker truck in Atlanta, Georgia, maybe it will cost you on average $2,000 a month to run a truck in Atlanta, Georgia. That same truck you're running in Monrovia will cost you between $7,000 to $12,000 a month to run that truck. The reason so many factors go into it, the city corporation should not have the yellow machine and any giant trucks that they cannot fully protect. People abuse these trucks. Look, I live in Bonafide. When the trucks come, all the fuel, all the money get set off. You can't sustain this. There's a better way. But anyway, let's take some calls from across Liberia. Let's take some calls. Harris, you can come on the board. Let people come on. The trash in Monrovia can be. First of all, we don't have enough trash in Monrovia. That's the first thing. That was one of our problems. The trash is not sufficient. That's one of the problems we're facing. Because the way we adjust the facility, and number one, we want the trash, not just necessarily because of the trash sake, because there's so many additional business added to the trash. But the removing the trash from the city,
garbage is a big
very
business.
easy.
Garbage
It's a massive business. In fact,
especially the nonsense we throw away, we don't recycle. Garbage is big business.
Small cardboard boxes and
but we need to also do a lot of education and awareness about what to do, what not to do. That is where we fail. Class Reloaded is great, but the government needs to, LBS is not supposed to be operating as a commercial radio station. They have a fiduciary responsibility. So long you're receiving tax dollars,
yes,
you must do free public service announcements. Charging government cannibalizing itself to use its own radio station that it funds is ridiculous. So Eugene Fangon, if you're listening, I completely disagree with the way you're running LBS. I'm not saying that you shouldn't commercialize it to some extent, but it's too much. This is not a private radio station. It's a government information arm. It should be there primarily for education. It's our public radio. Imagine if public radio, a public broadcasting system in the United States was being used to advertise gambling, to be doing all kinds of other things in. That's not your role.
It will lose the message.
You want to run radio station, go open one radio station to be doing those things. LBS is a government entity. It should be running 24/7 doing public education. If you need to supplement your income, do it. But it can't be so commercial radio operations you on. It's wrong.
And to the government officials in Liberia that we continue to extend the invitation to. I don't know if I got time coming to the show. Guys, y'all got to come on the show. Madam Elizana Zoe, I know you're going to all the radio stations that we talk, but you need to come here. We have reached out to you on many occasions. You need to come and explain to the Liberian people, government officials, the FDA. We reached out to you guys. The health minister, I know the health minister were apologizing today to the Senate and why she didn't show up. We are asking you, madam, to come on the network and explain to the Liberian people what's happening to the health ministry. We know a lot of great things are happening, but we cannot explain it because we are not at the forefront. You are at the forefront. You should be able to explain this stuff so our people can understand.
Speaking of government officials, really quick before you go to the callers.
Yeah.
The Liberian ambassador to Guinea did something that I thought was so obnoxious. This is my personal opinion based on my understanding, right? He completely violated protocol. He went on a internet talk show or radio show calling for calm, acting like he's the president of the Republic of Liberia or acting like he is the Minister of Foreign Affairs, speaking on behalf of government while he's seated in Guinea.
Huh?
He's sitting in Guinea being interviewed. He's the ambassador.
With Guinea flag behind him.
Then he said, I'm not joking. I saw that interview. I was appalled. He should be immediately recalled and sent back to the Foreign Service Institute for re-education. Because he's from that area, maybe he felt that he's talking to his people, but you are an ambassador. You are wearing the hat and the clothes of an ambassador. There's a chain of command. You're not authorized to be telling people, you're not authorized to talk about this issue. You're sitting in Guinea being interviewed, talking about issues that your minister has not addressed publicly. It's wrong.
Thank you, Cole. And Ruben, I think you misunderstood what Cole said. It's not saying that you cannot commercialize to some extent LBS, but it cannot be all about commercialization. We understand he has to make money, but it can be the primary focus because this is a public radio station intended to disseminate information to the Liberian public that is funded by the government of the Republic of Liberia.
Taxpayer money.
Yeah, so
the NTA, why NTA fares are so low? Because they're subsidized by government. That's why the National Transit Authority is cheap and affordable because they receive budgetary allocations from taxpayers. I was managing director of NTA. I know how government works. What he's doing there, he needs to rethink it.
Thank you very much, Cole. Let's take some calls from our people. And guys, listen, the points we are trying to make here is not to antagonize anybody. It's to provide solutions that will help the country. It doesn't mean anybody cannot do the job. That's not what I'm suggesting. You do your job, but our goal is, as citizens, we sometimes, I don't want to say critique because sometimes people misconstrue what critique means, but I want to say point out areas that needs improvement. I think that's a better, euphemistic way to put it. Point out area that we can improve upon because at the end of the day, all want Liberia to get better. That's the whole point.
No, they wants to say and praise thing like we ain't get no mind that we should just yeah, y'all doing great and be clapping, those toys or monkey toys that got the symbols between the head. I won't be doing. No.
Oh, I'm scared of
you.
you.
What I want, y'all not get it from me. I want our government to do better.
Better. And like what the president said, we are here to work. And Jeff Oko saying that. Let's listen to the president just for 2 minutes, then we'll go to the phone call while you're making preparation.
The Minister of Commerce has a lot to do, and I'm saying that, I'm not emphasizing it. That ministry has a lot to do in terms of food products that come to this country. I see a lot of friends, they are kind. Oh, when Christmas comes, take chicken. We don't have a chicken feed. We are a country that used to produce chickens. And some of these chickens bringing hearts of this and that. We are not here to throw away things to our people. So that ministry we have to get forceful, they got to work and make sure that the Liberians get the products that are consumable, products that are quality. It's not a dumping ground. And so
that was the point. The president recognized that Liberia needs quality. And those are the two places I was really interested in, Commerce Ministry and the City Hall, because I believe that could really transform those locations. I was adamant about it, but that's a whole nother long story. Let's take some calls from across the country. My brother Harris, let's hear from you. Your phone on you.
Okay, so we'll go to the lines and take the calls tonight. 080561644, 08805611644, 0776293621, 0776293620, 0776293620, 0888 832988 are the numbers tonight. You call us 08805611644, 08805611644. This person is on our very first caller. You live, the name and where you called from. Hello? Hello, let's hear you.
Thank you. I would like to just comment on the Samuel Toure saga at the court. Look, even when people feel like they know nothing at all, Samuel Toure knows that he has something that he cannot survive. And I was just listening to you people where Arthur Johnson is sending the law upside down, the men who claim to know so much that Arthur Johnson counsel, all those kind of tactics. That's why he has them. You know, when they were doing these things, enjoying it, whatever you do will come to you. When they did it to Brani Samukai, they thought it was just going to be, restricted to Brani Samukai alone. Here it is. I think it's a precedent that is hurting him, and it will grab him. He cannot survive it. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. And we'll leave you take more calls. 08805611644, 0776293620, 0776293620, 08888 08888 are the numbers this person is on from this. And we let's hear you. You live, the name you called from where? Jackson, let's hear you.
Yeah, I want to come to the Burkina Faso, floating in Nigeria. The Nigerian was present in the banks and the Nigerian. You that breaking they are Burkina Faso. You must know that they are foreigners here and they are not coming with good intention for your people. People are the ones that are producing our country here. It's not good. Then back here. And then they come to the burning of the dead in Mongolia. This thing was introduced by Japanese OG, and now they're doing a getting used to it. Because they will not do anything to stop to the burning of the garbage in the city. So, the present state mayor that we have, mayor that we have, let them stand strong to erase those things. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's leave you. This person is on. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Hello, you live. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, thank you for the show, and please thank you so much, Cole. Yeah, there's your phone podcast. If you want to love of course, but my call, you gotta come down here. Because Liberia here we see that our national resources are supposed to rationally organize, rationally manage, and rationally distribute the equitable distribution of us. This is why we start and we're speaking about sanitation. This is the time that we all come together. It's a wake-up call. We started speaking from the community, from government. Then we'll go all the way down the chain of command, all the way down the air, co-chair for operation. And if you send down to the right team, then imagine our streets have been dirty. The people are breaking back on the street. This is the time at the bottom. Look at when you're making they are policy, it should be able to expect the common livelihood of people. That look at the people, don't look at the specific building. Yeah, so man, I call I say thank you to you. This is John Dover. I see ever so more we Liberia will stay calling for you. Come down here so that we can see your impact. You say on human resources to push people at their ego that on this state, you know, when something is then shut them to the gospel area, and there is our education done. It's free your mind from ignorance and knowledge is you to the truth. Okay.
Okay, thank you. I have to leave you and speak with this person. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Hello. Go ahead, you live.
Number from Ghana. Aris, first, let me commend you for the effort making for the Liberian people, for the Liberian people to be informed every day and night. And Daru and please call. Good evening to you guys, to you. Because Daru, we cannot take anything to you. We only say God thank you for your God will provide for you and God for voluntarily giving information to the Liberian people. And let me talk about this agree with you because that's why we say we're changing this government because we knew that the government will not doing anything good for the Liberian people. The issue of garbage, that's why we change government. I think the new city manager have to strategy that he will be able to clean our capital city. Because in the past, during the past government, we say the city was dirty. So if you come and tell a big shaping blame on the past government, people will ask you, but then why is the need of what changing government? Because we saw yesterday it was wrong, and the same thing continues to happen in our capital city. So I think the government has to hold him on the feet on fire to clean the city so the houses can be look good in the other city in the world. But so thank you so much. Keep on providing information to us and honorable solar players. I'll tell them I'm not here talking much about Ghana. When will you come in Ghana? I need to give us our community life.
Okay, thank you. Just keep listening. I believe you will address your concern 0805 616 44 0805 616 44 0776 293 620 0776 293 620 0888 832988 are the numbers. We take more of your concerns tonight. 0805 616 44 0805 616 44 0776 293 620. This person is on from this end. Good evening. Thanks for joining us.
My name is Wilhelmina Stevens. My concern has to do with this garbage issue. You know, the government has a major role to play. Because even if the community people clean up, there's no site to take the dirt. Right now, we have certain group that usually come, get our dirt everyone will pay $5. But if you they start coming when we call, they say the site is filled and they have nowhere to throw the dirt, so they can't come and pick our dirt. Also, we just have our dirt, in the garbage bag, tie up, and sometimes the rain is at the back. We ourselves sometimes we are embarrassed. There's nowhere to carry the dirt. Look at places like Bannersville. Bannersville is big. Why will Monrovia City Corporation be in charge of Bannersville when Bannersville itself can take care of itself? Yeah, the commissioner here, in fact, that's a means of creating jobs for people in this area, the Bannersville belt. You can create jobs for young people here. And I think when we tax, when the township decide to tax every house, because they got the houses now, the communities in block A, block B, and so it's not something like you going to ask people.
Okay.
It shouldn't be optional.
Thank you.
It should be mandatory. Giving everybody cut. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. Just conclude. We have so many calls.
So it should be mandatory. They should get every house ticket. Any house that refuses to pay, and then they can arrest the owner of that home. But they shouldn't leave it with the community dwellers and say, well, call people to take it. It should be mandatory, and the township should take charge.
Okay, thank you. We'll leave you. Talk to this person from this and good evening. Thanks for joining us. Josiah, let's hear you. You're live.
Thank you for the exclusive recognition. Josiah Smoke on the cover of Peace Island, formerly called 540, members of the United Party in the Electoral Bureau. Now, let me say thanks to Cisco, Brado, and all I'm concerned. There were two things. The first one had to do with the city issues. I think our blood is the major votes, especially the capital city, Monrovia, and I'm in the city. I think, I don't know, if they will be able to get around Middlebrook and ask what the strategy she used. But she wants and Lori and brought up a 2 million spending of the G at the town of Monterey. Now, race issue in the corner, I can go morning, she put in the city, and you're working. Now, I thought that's one of the other year. Now, we said the one that was blue. So I think our city, they are trying, they are doing their best, but we are where we want to be known. It is challenging, yeah. Are they collecting resources, yes? But what can they do to go out and try? They probably want to things. Instead of going out to collaborate, we also will help them, then they go out and the company. That's all I'm saying. When I want to say, you're not going to buy your money, you don't buy money. You don't want that. Not after I was there. I think a lot of people change the current government for. I bet I was in the millions. Let us try their best. We'll pray it's not easy.
Okay.
Coach, is this some issue? So, players are smart down. Or in the corporate, with 25 million in the corporate, the mobile 17 million. When they ask you, what kind of be there, the new convention of the the money we bound. When they ask us for in the future, he said, bro, that is central government from the black one. I didn't know. They ask him, so we did not do anything about what you're going to get. Who they report that to? He said, no, I don't know how to do that method. If you're like, oh, mistake is made. So I could have said nothing. So I think it's 30 years. When I said, oh, they made us like what? So they case. The government should be very careful with it. They should be very careful with me.
Okay. Thank you. Josiah, I will leave you. This person is on from this end. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Hello. Let's hear you.
Thank you very much. My name is Thomas. Yeah, first let me when I want to and my other side we hear you a lot of be able to save somewhat 2 to 3 hours listening to them. I can be open. This area a lot. Man in the term of the meeting with 5%. You know, my concern has to do with environment. I think if the president will deal with that, they can't away from them. I don't think it's really coming with her. You see what happened today? She woke up her. She getting to know that therefore when I hear all the go and sit down and discuss to come up with second class. When they come up with second class, then they go and take him out of the act that do what really to work on people be taken. They should even give the second of it. One of the things to the market or the students can do. Market and that's what the we do. Let it be able to stop to it. That's the only way that will be able to benefit. You know, in the government, especially when you are being elected, people can only be able to see the impact concerning about the problem era. If you can't be able to step, as he said, only going to the government ministry needs to do well. They got to be able to build function their.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. We'll leave you. Take a few more calls. 0778 665 699 0805 61644 0776-293-620, 0776-293-620,
Let's take one more. I think you already know.
644 are the numbers. We take few, at least one or two more calls, and then we call it a day from this. And 0776-293-620, 080561644 are the numbers. We don't have a caller from this.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I know those of you guys who've been saying today that we're not on YouTube. I've been announcing it every chance I got. We are on YouTube, but not on the original page because we still have a 24-hour restriction. So within 24 hours, by tomorrow, the same time the show can start, we should be able to go live. But we still on Senator Dillon's page. We're on YouTube. This is AB Dillon 68. That's his YouTube page. But you can call from international number. Call and make your position on what is being discussed. Call into the show. The number is 774-578-1963 for international callers. Look, everybody, I always tell you, we got to all hang here to find solution for Liberia's problem. This is paramount that we do this because not one person can solve the problem. It doesn't mean anybody who's there, they're not solving the problem. Maybe they've run out of ideas, or maybe they have met the maximum. You move them around, and then somebody else take over to advance the issue. We got to constantly produce results. You can produce results in these fields. This is what is expected. This is what is required. If you can call into the show now, that's 774-578-1963 for our international callers. Call into the show. You can still hear me? Okay, good. And let's take our first international caller here. Caller, you're live.
Hey, John, how you doing?
How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for the topic of the discussion tonight. This is Clarence David. I'm calling from Chicago, Illinois.
Hey, Mr. Davis, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. You see, the corruption had teeth and corruption can bite. Anything that we playing with here, every now and then we come up, we just talk about it. This is an organized crime that these people committed in our country. We listen to two statement that he made that time. He indicted what the NEC.
Yeah, he did. Yep.
Now, the head of the NEC had probably sent him a resignation. This guy, they're coordinating. When we don't be careful, many of these cases will lose it. At the end of the day, the men then will use that same money that they stole from the Liberian people to come to power. So this is key. Many people are not paying attention to this thing. When the LNCC boss spoke the last time, even when she appeared to make a press briefing, all that sort of dresses she was doing there, it's just a better street. Let me get the ruling pattern, then they can do the worst thing. And the second point I want to make, concerning the commerce minister and the transport minister, we cannot manage a relationship because we bring in people from the other political party to join us and say, we don't want to create bad feeling. It's better to create a bad feeling now than for us to face it later. Because when we not put this system in play, when things go on road tomorrow, when we are approaching the election period, we will not be able to change things around. So it's better to start a relationship now, those are not working. You cannot be the minister in work. The person got to say something before you start getting the fee to do your work. If you don't know the job, we have thousands of Liberians qualified or Liberian.
Thank
You're
you.
not prepared, get chance for other people to do that. They don't know about their mind, offer.
Thank you.
It's a taxpayer money that we are paying these people. So we're sure these people are not performing, let them get chance of all the people that can perform. Thank you for the show.
Thank you for your call. Thank you so much. Caller, you're live. Your name and where you calling from, sir?
Thank you. The name is Jerry King Dobie, the backup man for Raymond State. I'm calling for
Hey, blow you. I want it.
my man. Let me say platform to cancel of fire. My man, looking at a brace of people, my man. I want to have live brother there. They got to eat it, man. They have live brother there. I have for them. They have live brother there. They eat it, man. So if I think clear, if I think message clear, get an error, be new money, they better eat it, man. They have live brother eat it, man. So when I thing I get problem with in the country, but they take the position. Let's assume I'm a president or you president.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you beat me.
Yeah.
You made somebody boss somewhere.
Yeah.
To somewhere in ministry. So in the next former president, when they take from his name, I'm gonna get a comment top. Now what's going from the genocide of Liberia? The guy who wrote a constitution, the manager wrote a constitution, started in the way. But that's a name we need to amend the constitution.
I agree. I agree.
I get a zero problem with it. Zero big problem. I think any position given the presidency hard to admit. Who and now they say that because somebody you are former president, you're putting somewhere. So new government will be all mind the new government. So you all president, you go with all your people. New president, you come with all your own people that they will have the interest when you say so thing, they go by it. So now why giving the government after?
Cherry. What co-position money will be nigga man for cha? Can you say what's up, my man? Thank you, Jerry. Thank you so much. Thank you for calling to the show. Caller, you're live. Your name and where you calling from? Hello, caller. You're live. Look, and I'll tell you every day. One thing I want to commend Jerry Dobley, the son from River says, and I'm going to say this to him. Jerry always call into the show to speak on the issue pertaining to our country. This is why, look, your call. You discuss Liberia. If we don't put our more in the things that are happening in Liberia, somebody else will put a boot in our team that we're talking about Liberia. The issue of Liberia that I'm one day, that I'm this, that, do. This is a serious problem. We have to understand the issue of Liberia. We'll take more calls here. Anybody else call into the show, I will go for another 1-2 minutes. If nobody calls in, we'll call it a day for today. But these 10U positions, we've spoken about them. If the 10U is helping Liberia, please, let's maintain them. But there are too many 10U positions. People just sit down inside there, and the entire intent is to be beholden to the person that appointed them before and to pigeonhole, literally strangle the current administration because they cannot move. You can't move me from there. They say with cost. That cost thing, it has to be redefined. Because if I have my agenda, and I'm president of the country, I have my agenda, somebody strangulating me, we'll find the cost. Call you live. Your name, where you calling from? Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Eduardo. This is Kuma.
Hey, Kuma, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
But anyway, I know I sent you a text yesterday about the cabbage collection.
Yeah.
And today I'm working and then you're discussing it.
Mm-hmm. But your text me all discussing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when they said that they can't do they can't select a day to clean for every community to clean, the same thing I said. When they said that they can't do that.
Kuma, is not sustainable. For Metropolis.
It's working for Rwanda?
Yeah, it's not working for Rwanda. It working for that day, that additional day, not for garbage collection, but for general cleanup. What's happening in Rwanda? Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then the government truck can come and pick it up and go dump it. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, I understood.
A particular day, everybody clean their community. It will make the people to be involved. Everybody will be included. And it will put responsibility on community.
I agree.
I think we should try it.
Yeah, it could be another option.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, Kuma.
I hope the government hearing us.
And for some of you all listening, like Kuma, when we talk about the trash today, the women can get hard time. Thank you so much, Kuma. Thank you for calling to the show. Bye. All right, caller, you're live. Your name and where you calling from? Hello, caller. I saw Mr. Lick calling into the show here. Mr. Lick, let me see if I can get to call you back. Every time I try to pick up your call, okay. Mr. Lick, let's call Mr. Lick by. He will be the final caller for the night. Hello, Mr. Lick.
Thank you for taking my call.
How you doing, sir?
I always sitting down here in my living room. I'm sick. I can't make any move. But if I were in Liberia, one of the things I would let them know, Eduardo, they said they got commissioner on all the districts. Why they said the mayor can't empower the commissioner then and look for those young boys there and put them $100 a month salary? Their job is just to clean that place. Every household in Monrovia, you charge either 25 or $30 every month because some of them renting room to people. They can create 10,000 jobs in that Monrovia city. But brother, let me tell you, Monrovia is a place people just go there to become bishop. That's all they're doing in our country. Everybody want to be bishop.
Bishop in Delhi play?
You can create 10,000 jobs in the city that if they knew what they were doing.
I'm too tired.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Lake. Thank you so much, Mr. Brunel. You were calling into the show. Let me call you back. I will make you the final caller for tonight unless somebody else call right after you get off the phone. Mr. Brunel, let's take the final caller here.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing, sir? You're live.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Eduardo.
How's everything?
Since call the strong over. Everyone.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Eduardo, I go to the border issue.
Okay.
Yeah, because with me, it was like people all those things when they happen.
Yeah.
You say we put door by you, to the secret in your face or you drunk there, look at you by you. Those guys sitting over there, feel the load that we family. Guinea and Labrador are family. And they can sit ready at here today. There's somebody sitting in the tree there will snap up. Now only there alone are shoot. We need to do something. We here, especially we're trying to invest in the country. If you will not go invest in the ocean, you know who benefit you, keeping the ocean.
Yeah.
We can't be doing all the investment, but we can't protect it. You see, if somebody can come up with an idea the way you were saying yesterday, or anything that can be to show something for our own security. That even if 10 out of 10 of the amount of people that got around the world, even the Liberian people, they will put 10,000 together to be able to get something on hand that will show that you serious. But we put all the investment over there and we don't need to protect it for no deal. But the Christian people get on one day and say, I get stupid, and the period of investing with their children or grandchildren, they're going breed. So,
talk it again.
So I think it's good that someone should get up every year, go to the compound and can produce something that will tell we get to the government, we get to nobody. You get a kind of deal you do that elaborate diaspora.
Yeah.
You affirm a little thing that they win a account.
Yep.
And we can take we're not for CDC, we're not for Disobaga,
nope.
we're not for CNC.
And for nobody. For Liberia.
So I will see.
Thank you for the call. Thank you for calling us tonight. I know we just heard we had some news from Joe Bar. Thank you for the callers tonight. Thank you so much for calling. We heard a little bit of news from Joe Bar. I just want to play this short video. Let me share the screen. There is a fire from the transformer, the one next to Joe Bar. Be going to town hall over there. The fire here. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Let me just see if I play this right.
So folks, wherever you are watching from, this video was captured recently from CityCon compound. This thing happened last month, and this time around, it happened again today. A huge fire just caught at LEC substation in Pinsville, Joba. This is the fire that was captured on camera straight from CityCon compound.
But I just hope they got that under control now. I hope that is under control because those substations, they provide a lot of power to a lot of locations. And now it's scaring me because some will get dedicated transformers. Sometimes we try to keep it far away from the building, but you get a little bit afraid. And I think I got enough fire extinguishers out there, but sometimes those fires are different kind of fire. Mr. Nambe, your party statement for the night, sir.
Yeah. So what's happening at the substation there is just overload of the transformers, and it just blew. So it's just again the issue of demand and supply of generator power, and that's causing all of the problems. Okay, so that's something that AEC needs to continue to work on day-by-day basis. Yeah. But look, the show was good. Hopefully, most of the issues we're discussing about today, whether it had to do about the 10U or the issue of what is happening at the courts today with Mr. Twe. You know, these are things that all the recent announcement of the resignation of the head of the NEC. These are all things that affects, our country, and we're just hoping that we can be able to address some of the issues there. Tenure is a problem that borders around the authority of the president to have people in place that he wants to, that can help, that align with his thinking in terms of the forward growth of the country and the implementation of his agenda. So that takes it away and it affects him. Let's hope that there can be a larger discussion around that. But it was a good show. It's very tiring for me tonight.
Yeah, I know,
But
right?
it's good. Yeah, I left very early. I've not
Yeah.
even been able to change on this. If you don't see me tomorrow, then you know why.
Yeah, go get some
But
rest.
yeah,
We really appreciate for you
but
coming.
it's good. It's good to see you. I don't know what's happening with the rest of the guys these days, but
They will be
that's
here.
it.
Mr. P, I'll put fire behind them again.
All right. Good night.
Too. Yeah,
Good night, Paul.
I'll upload it too. And let's listen to the history clubs before the guys get out of here today. Thank you so much for joining us always. And your music, Carl.
I did tell him, Sam, good night. He couldn't hear me.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not talk about LEC because I'm a little bit angry.
Yeah.
Because it was anyway. So let's go. Today I'm gonna actually talk about. I sent you a lot of stuff. Let's only focus
only two.
Okay, good. Let's just focus on the last two I sent you since you didn't see the other ones.
Okay. Well, go ahead.
The first thing I want you to show is that picture, if you don't mind, of the Chief Wool.
This one?
From Woolstown, yes. So in our traditions, Chief Wool from Woolstown is from basically where I'm from. The same, Ga clan area that I'm always talking about. And so when I saw this picture of him many years ago, this was taken in 1931. And it's interesting because I observed the photo and I'm looking and I'm seeing our traditional dancers. I'm seeing the helmets or the hats that they're wearing. I see that they have the Liberian flag, of course. We see the people that look like, just, and then there's a man standing there that kind of has like a Sahil dress code, that Sahil dress code, standing among the chiefs. When we talk about the fluidity of our ethnicities and the fact that our people were always interacting with each other, it's captured in history, it's captured in photographs, it's captured in documentation. Because many of us, if we do our DNA, we are not going to be, give me 1 second, Dwalo, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, Dwalo.
That's all right.
Yeah, so this is the evidence. History is based on evidence, not just photographs, but documented letters, correspondence, and so on. But Chief Wool also gave his family lineage, his history, and the history of the town. So that is documented in the next picture. And I just want you to read that for us to show that, because they say, our people didn't have history, and it is, but he documented it. He said, because in our real oral traditions that would go back, they didn't have years. We didn't measure years in time the way they do in the West and this important system of measuring days and times. But we were able to measure generations by the names of the people, right? And this is still evident in the traditions of griots in places like Mali and Northern Guinea and other places in West Africa. It still survives. Much of it has been lost for us, but some of it was in fact documented in the early 1900s. So this is some of it. So you can go ahead and see, try your best with the pronunciations for us.
So up there, it said, Wool, the paramount chief of Ga clan, trace his ancestry back for 12 generations can occur in 350 years to his ancestor name. Is it Jima, the founder?
Ma.
Yeah, I think
So,
Ma. Okay, yeah.
Ma, the founder of the town of Zului.
Zuli. So Ma, born circa 1510. Yiri, born circa 1550. Ka, rising inflation.
Ka.
Okay, we did. Yeah, born circa 1570. Ma, Tukboy, Tukboy, Tukboy. Tukba. Okay. So it's like a mono variation, basically. You can see it.
Yeah, Mano and Pele have a lot of names in common because of the plural.
Okay, 1600. Za Zimbwe, 1630. Da Misi, 1660. Ba Ke Yong, 1690. Yakba, Conway. Yeah. 1720. Yakba Sokulu. Wow. 1750. They go way back. Oh, that was over here.
So you got Kwa Davo around 1780. Yang Wemby, I can't pronounce, y'all get vexed. I'm trying, at least you can see it. Around 1810. Then Dorothy or Zay.
Yeah.
Maybe Zay, Dorothy.
Yeah.
Maybe that Doro Zay or Doro.
Yeah,
No, I don't even think that Doro, because we don't have the letter R in our languages. And this is how he wrote it, but he's an English speaking, an Anglophone, so it probably was Doloze.
Doloze, yeah, most likely Doloze.
Yeah, so you got Doloze, born around 1840, and then Doloze had his son Wo, Chief Wo, who became the first paramount chief of this area.
Wow.
So all of the people that came before him were not paramount chiefs. They were real traditional kings.
Correct.
I remember the government introduced the paramount chief system. So Wo, who was photographed there, was born sometime around 1870, which I think is incredible. And why is that important? It's because even when missionaries and other explorers came and encountered our people and documented what they said, if they had not done that, we would not know those names, because those names no longer are in the oral memory. Even if somebody knew Doloze, they won't know all the way back to the 1500s.
Nope.
Typically, right? So there are traditions that have been forgotten that would not have been remembered if they were not written down. The same thing with Benjamin Joseph Knight Anderson going to Musadu and writing down the names of the people he encountered and documenting what he saw. All of that would have been lost in time if he had not written it down.
That's right.
There's just one more video. It's a silent video. It's about 10, 15 seconds long. I want you to show, because the dancers that are here, it's not the exact same people, but the people who are wearing the helmets, there is image of them from a few years earlier. So this was taken in 1932. And in 1926, there's video in the same place of dancers dancing.
Okay. I'm uploading. It's loading right now.
Yeah, so 6 years earlier, you can see the dancers dancing.
So by that time,
y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I no longer see these helmets in Liberia. The Bassa people have something similar. It's not as tall with as much plume, but they also wear something similar. I don't see this anymore in Liberia.
Yeah, the cultural troops used to wear them. I remember.
Yeah, I'm not seeing our culture troops make, and the beautiful thing is they were made out of leopard skin. So if there's other photos that I have that I didn't upload, but they're made out of, you can see the leopard print. So it was just very beautiful, very beautiful.
Let me play this. Let me play the video, about 18 seconds long. There we go.
Yes, very short.
It doesn't have sound, but
yeah, it was before that kind of video had sound. This is motion picture in the 1920s was silent film.
Correct.
But you saw the drum he playing, that what we call the talking drum and all of that.
Talking drum, yep.
Yeah. So these guys are also holding the talking drums. There's a 6-year difference. The video was taken 6 years before the picture was taken. So possibly some of the same dancers, maybe different dancers, but the same place. So I just wanted to share that because we've been talking about these heavy things. Every time I pull up these old images, I like to share them because things have changed. I don't see this culture anymore. I see remnants of it, variations of it, watered down. But the real thing, if we don't restore or remember and try to have some type of cultural preservation, we'll forget all of these things. But I'm glad that they're documented in film. I'm glad they're documented in photographs, and so that we can see things that we would not otherwise be able to see in 2026.
Thank you so much, Cohen. Thank you for joining us today. To the guys that are listening across the country, I will close with what we began with today, the family unit and the cohesion of the family unit. It's sometimes easy to forget, and we'll laugh a little bit, but the importance of the family, I cannot stress it enough. You need to raise children on the proper condition to get them to do and to get them to be raised the way you want them to be raised. We have to do more, and I'm glad Cole mentioned that there are several people in Liberia, many people that are doing the right thing in Liberia, and we need more and more of that, because if we don't do that, we will lose our communities, and by extension, we're going to lose the very essence of our society. Our families must be cohesive for the community to grow, to be strong enough so we can raise better Liberian children, that we can pass on our customs, our tradition, and our Liberian-ness too. One person cannot do it before, the African thing. It took a village, and really it did take a village before then. Everybody raised you. We have to go back to that because this is who we are. A lot of times we tend to forget. It is important. You can't just go to Liberia, you be man. And I'm saying this thing because we've been doing the most. And you're present put the all around, and they're not being raised right. I don't want somebody impacting their values on my children. I want the person to do it. I must do it because they are my seed. And you should want the same thing for yourselves, because the way we improve our society, if we want the kind of husbands and the kind of wives that we want for ourselves, those are the people we should raise for other people, for the society to be stronger. So the Liberian family, to some extent, is being dissolved. And the way the society is going, I know the gender ministry has a lot of work to do for family cohesion, etc., and some of the jobs they do in Liberia, but they can only do so much. The very community themselves must look to that. There's a culture in Liberia now where you get a child, you drop it on grandma, and grandma can find food for them. Grandma's struggling with 6, 7 children, and that's another thing I love to do in Liberia. Sometimes the woman, you see they buy 1, 2 back or but you can only do so much. You born your child, you take care of them. Don't dump it on grandma's lap. It doesn't mean grandma cannot help, but I want us to focus on raising proper Liberian children. And don't just have children with anybody, young women. You must weigh a lot of things. They must be able to take care of those children, because all the butterflies will go away and the real work will come. And part of that real work is for you to be around so that real work can be done properly to raise that child to manhood or womanhood. It is important to continue to elevate the Liberian family. And I want Liberians across our country to take this issue very seriously. We cannot just be boning around. It harms every single person in our society. Even if not a child, it will also disadvantage you in so many different ways that I cannot quite quantify here. We have to raise proper children, and we have to do it with people that can stick around to be able to make sure we grow a better community and, by extension, a better society. Once again, man, thank you so much for joining the show today. Cole, it was a pleasure as always. Have a great day.
Yeah, Liberia developing. This is the Class Reloaded, the #1 online show that brings the truth. Showcasing J&B and JKK progress all across the country.
The Class Reloaded, we are online every day. Showcasing progress the Liberian way.
Well,
JMB and JKK, they're making the way. The Class Reloaded, we're shining today.
From Monrovia City to the other counties, development talk shake the country. We talk the truth, we don't lie. The rescue mission making people smile. Roads getting better, schools better. better. Electricity stable, no more hoping. We see the change, we see the light. Unity Party doing things right. Who talk the facts?
The Clash Reloaded.
Who bring the vibe?
The Clash Reloaded.
Support development.
The Clash Reloaded.
Who better arise again? Oh yes we can. Who talk the facts?
The Clash Reloaded.
Who bring the vibe?
The Clash Reloaded.
Support development.
The Clash Reloaded.
Who better arise again? Oh yes we can.
The Clash Reloaded. We are online every day.
Every day.
Showcasing progress the Liberian way.
Well, JMB and JKK, they're making the way. The Clash Reloaded, we shining today. Turn up the sound, let the people dance. Liberia progress, we get the chance. No fake news, we bring the proof. The Clash Reloaded always in the booth. From social media to the street corner, everybody talking about the new order.